Welcome to Trader Prad and Valeriia, or AP, the Audemars Piguet show. Or I don't know how to say Audemars Piguet. You know how to say that properly?
The what show?
The watch company, Audemars Piguet. You know how to say it properly?
Piguet?
AP? Yeah.
Yeah, just say AP.
How do you say the last part?
It's Piguet, isn't it?
Is it? I always get it wrong.
I mean,
But
I'm not a
welcome
fan
to
of
the
their
AP
designs. But
show.
anyways, yeah.
Welcome to the AP show. I'm just trying to make a joke.
Are we sponsored
out of it.
by AP?
No, we aren't. That's a
Okay,
good
then
point.
we shouldn't
That's
say
a
that.
great point.
No, we should not say that at all.
Great point. Let's dive right into the market. Going on. I'm actually, because Neil was mentioning AMC. I had AMC up here. I was looking at the trend line. I'm looking for $18 break. It already broke my trend line. You know, market making a beautiful reversal back. We are still in the negative for NASDAQ, flat on the ES. We were negative on the ES too, but now we're in positive on the ES, trying to make a move all the way back to the high a day, whereas NASDAQ is above VWAP and trying to follow suit with the ES and so on. And I'm now looking at AMC to maybe continue this break of this trend line, have a follow through and go through $18 for the second time after the open today. And since we're already on the meme stock, I'm going to quickly go over to GME. GME kind of doing something similar. We did go all the way up to 116 today. Did break past that, but immediately came down with the market, but the volume's not really going away from the market yet. Obviously 11 o'clock in GME with 1.5 million shares is a great thing for GME today.
Well, someone in the chat, I noticed in the chat, someone's like, Arun's so serious. Yeah, remember yesterday Arun was sitting around doing nothing, so he was kind of relaxed. Today, took out the wallet, went shopping when the stocks were on sale. So I've got a bunch of positions I'll go through for you guys. Here, we'll pull up the first one here. Roku was one of the names I picked up here. This is the daily, so I figured, let me zoom that in a little bit. So I figured, let's make that a little bit bigger. So what I figured was when we were coming down off the open that there would be some buying around this 164 area. So I decided to pick up some trades there, pick up some shares there. So on that big drop, yes, I stepped in, went long around 164. Yes, it did go $3.50 against me, but I was confident with the level that I had on the daily. There was a decent amount of support activity below 164. Stop on this was south of 160. So here we are now up $2.30 in the money on Roku. That's number one. We also went to NVIDIA. For anyone who was watching yesterday, you guys remember we were looking at that 240 level. I was going long, and then I'm like, something doesn't look right. We walked away from that long right here around 240. Yeah, I went shopping right in front of it. When I mean right in front of it, I'm talking 13 cents in front of it. So 240.13 is my entry on NVIDIA. If you can see it, that's this little green arrow right at the bottom there. So yeah, we caught it right at the tail end of that. Reason being though, it's the same level from yesterday. Just because the trade, we kind of walked away from the trade yesterday, the level was in play. That 240 was holding well. We could gap above, coming back down to it. You got to take that shot. You have the volume there to work a trade. So here we are, almost $3 in the money on that pickup on NVIDIA. That's number two. What else do we have? We have, oh yeah, Sean was in this earlier, and so was I. I picked it up on the dip here on Palantir, south of 14. Well, not south of 14, very close to 14. So I have 14.11 on Palantir. The reason I have 14.11 is for anyone who's watching yesterday, remember 14 was one of those issues that we were having as it was trading. It was 1370-ish, but I was like, you know what, if I go for the short, it's going to have to be somewhere south of 1340 against the 14. Yeah, it turns out we never ended up taking that short because it was a quick move back up. But at the same time, they took out 14, which was originally my stop level. So the fact that we took out 14 clears the daily for me. So here we are picking up some longs here right at 14 against that 1330 area, that dip point from yesterday. So here we are about 20 cents in the money on, or 10 cents in the money on Palantir. And another one, the last one I've got for you guys is Snap. So Snap, another purchase pickup right at the end there. It did go against me. I mean, it went against me 80 cents, but I picked it up right at 33. So 33.01 is where I picked it up. It's done absolutely nothing. It's sideways right now too. I like the trade. The way it's moving around, I like the way the daily's setting up. So why not take a shot? It was a lot of stocks were on sale. You just had to pick up which ones were the strongest on the daily. So that's where I definitely kind of went for it. So there you are, 4 longs. Even though this morning I was talking about the futures, not liking the futures around that 45.10 area, because going up to 4,500 or 4,550. So I figured if there was a drawback, if there was a pullback, I could use that to go for some longs. The futures didn't set up for me to go for the short, but stocks, I know I can find some longs on the dip. So that's exactly what I did. Sean said, buy the dip. I found some dips to buy. So here we are sitting on four nice longs.
Buy the dip indeed. One of the greatest strategies there ever will be forever. Just buy good companies that are on the way down. AMD, for example, is going to be one of those for me. I went home and talked to my dad about how I bought AMD at 103. He talks to me about how he got AMD at 100. So he got a better price, more shares, but more money into it. So congratulations to my father. I do have to text him, however, reminding him that the earnings are today. So to watch, and if you are watching, Dad, the earnings for AMD are today. So keep your eyes peeled at the close, I believe. And talking about AMD, I believe with all the gaming hype that's going on with Activision, Sony trying to buy Bungie, because Activision has been on a downtrend for ever since the news was announced. Sony coming out and saying they want to buy Bungie, I was very bullish on Activision today. So instead of shorting Activision today, I was looking to buy dips around support areas. So near $79, near the near the pre-market levels and where they closed yesterday. I look for some buy the dip opportunities after the opening rip. Got long near 79, best out near 79.45, I believe. I did have the overall idea to hold Activision up to $79, $80, $79.90 up to $80, but I'm not sure why I closed my trade. I didn't really see any reasoning behind closing the trade. I just saw money and I traded it. I closed it. That's the sad honesty behind it. I have my unrealized up in front of my face, and when I do see that unrealized, sometimes I just take it. I can't hold it, which sucks.
I gotta say something about that.
Yeah.
Because there was something you were asking me, I think it was about a week or two ago, and Prad was like, he sees me trade the futures. He sees me how I trade the futures. He's like, Ruin, how do I do that? What do I do? And I told him, I'm like, the very first rule. Well, don't put that up. But you can't put that up.
Okay.
The language is not right.
Okay.
But don't be a blank is what I said.
Yeah.
So I said, don't be a blank. That's straight up and simple. I'm like, rule number 1. Once you get past this, we'll get to rule number 2. Well, it turns out your boy is struggling a little bit with rule number 1. So
just a little bit still. We'll get there, baby.
We'll get there. We're gonna get him there. At some point, he'll get past rule number 1, and we'll give him rule number 2. But just one of those things. When you're in a trade, at least the way I look at it too. When you're in a trade, don't look at the realized, because that can always be changed by the number of shares you're taking or number of contracts you're taking, which is a result of your confidence in the strategy or whatever you've got. The points. I look at my trades by points. When I talk about stocks that I've got, I'm talking about pennies and dollars that I'm up, not how many pennies and how unrealized. The unreal, not the actual dollar value, but the points I'm up on the trade, whether it's on the contracts, on the future side of things, or on the stock. That's what I care about. I'm up 10 points. I'm up whatever. Right, that matters to me because I can always multiply the dollar value based on the points, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at that, it kind of not desensitizes you, but allows you to actually trade without worrying about the dollars.
Yeah,
right?
I need to take it off my screen, the Unreal. I used to have it off, and then I put it back, and now I went back to the old way that I used to trade. But yeah, 100%, I'll get there very quickly, I promise. Speaking about the whole gaming sector, though, let's quickly show what I found yesterday was this Activision deal is actually going to be reviewed by the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, instead of the Department of Justice. And FTC was the reason why the Activision, the Lockheed Martin and Aerojet deal fell apart, the NVIDIA and ARM deal fell apart, and also the Take-Two and EA deal fell apart, and the Take-Two and Zynga deal went through, I believe, through the Department of Justice. So Lisa Khan over here at FTC looks like she's very into the non-monopolization of companies, which is what I was talking about when the news came out, that be careful, this could be in a boat where they might not let the companies merge because of not antitrust, but because of competition will harm competition, and it won't be good to monopolize gaming industry or gaming and tech in a way like that. So it looks like that idea might just go through, and hence that's why we have been seeing Activision on a downward descent ever since that news came out. But today, after the Bungie's news yesterday, nice pop coming in, almost 0.5% up on Activision. And let's quickly go take a look at Sony too. What is Sony doing today? Sony actually still up around the same prices where the news dropped. Around 111.72 is where the news halt came in. We jumped all the way to 113 off that halt and immediately came back down. And as expected, if Sony's about to buy somebody out, they're about to be out of cash. So they dropped about almost 110.75, but eventually came back up to the same price and closed around 111.75, which is where we're at. So 0.3% up on Sony with 200,000 shares traded today.
Yeah, I'm going through the chat. Obviously, I've talked about the positions that I've got, but I was looking for what can we potentially do now that we're together. Let's find something to trade, right? And somebody put up BBBY, that is Bed Bath & Beyond. And is it a short right now? Well, let's take a quick look at the daily first. First off, as I always do, let's take a quick look at the daily. What do we got? Well, good strength. Got past the 16 area, which was kind of hesitating. It was hesitating around for the last little bit. Here we are kind of going strong right now. Would I go for the short right now? Not a fan of it. So let's just say if you were near 20, you can see how much time we spent back in early November and early December around these 20s. First, initially on the support side, then on the resistance side. If we were close to 20, I think I'd take a shot if I can find a setup on the short side. But right now, just respect the strength of it. It's up 8.8%. There's probably a nice little move to come. It's got another $1.52 before it hits resistance. So why not just wait for that to happen? Just mark it off and just put some alerts down. As you can see on my screen, it looks a little bit different from yesterday. I kind of got a chance to actually move things around a little bit here. You'll see on the right-hand side. You can't see the bottom. But anyways.
I'll hide you here. There you go.
Yeah, so on the right-hand side, you see my hot list here. So what I'm using here, apart from our own internal software, I'm also using eSignal here. And on the bottom, I have a watch list of the stocks that I want to keep an eye on. So some of them I have positions in, and other ones I'm just marking off just to see where they're trading and what levels. You see off to the right-hand side, I have some prices marked off. Those are the prices that I'm kind of keeping an eye on, whether they're stops or targets or whatnot. And then up top, you can put me back on. Up top, this is just a hot list. For what eSignal does, it allows you to kind of filter names that are moving based on certain criteria. So if I were to zoom this out, you'll see I have this filtered by trade rate. So anytime there's a spike in trade activity, I see this showing up, right? So all the names at the top are because they have a ton of trading going on right now. So if some name were to come out and all of a sudden it goes absolutely nuts, well, it's going to show up right here. At the top, you can obviously see Apple, AMC, and AMD. And it looks like DKNG is also moving up top. Why? Why is DKNG up there? I understand why the other names were. I just didn't understand why DKNG is. It's a NASDAQ name. Okay.
Wow, DraftKings actually ripping, yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So there you go. And it's a nice little move. So there's a lot of activity in DraftKings, up 5%. And now it's just changed. So this is kind of my thing of kind of keeping track of it. So if anyone's wondering what the software is, it's a combination of different ones. I've got our internal paperweight software built in-house. I've got eSignal as well. And then off to the side, I've got some other charting systems as well. So it's a mix of a bunch of different things. And as you can see, I use the black layout. The reason I go for the black is it's easier on the eyes, right? Yeah. I find that the white ones are way too bright. And also anyone who's internal, who's watching from another office of ours, you'll notice that the colors I've got on my market depth here is very light-ish, because the default color is like a
rainbow.
It's like a rainbow, bright rainbow, and it's like in your face at a party type color system, which hurts your eyes when it's moving around really quickly. So here I am with kind of, just setting it up a certain way so I just am better at reading the chart. As I say this, NVIDIA is still going, Roku's still going, Snap is starting to move now, Palantir, 17 cents. So hey, we're doing well. Futures, we just got to figure out what we're going to do with the futures. We're in a zone, we can potentially fade it, but I don't think it's ready yet. You have to respect the strength of this market.
Awesome. Yeah, I respect the strength. The market is indeed now both in the positive. The NASDAQ up flat, but up. ES up, but also flat, making a new high day or trying to test the high day from the pre-market. Talking about Lucid Motors, I see a lot of Lucid Motors talk in the chat. So let me quickly go over something that Lucid Motors is EV, up 2.5% on 19 million shares today, and just now cracking above 30 for the upside. While off the open, we did crack 30 to the downside. So let's see if we can hold 30 on the bids and try to go test the high of 31, which was off the open. Looks like 30.93 could have been the high, or actually not 31. So a test of 31 would be great. Very happy to see Lucid Motors back above 30. Something that I want to mention is about our watch list. If you're not signed up to our watch list, here's what our watch list looks like. TraderTV.Live. Make sure you go sign up to it. You can use your email, Facebook. What else can you use? Gmail, Facebook, and normal any other email that you want to, basically. And your watch list kind of looks something like this. It's just easier format for me to read in, so I'll have this one up. But basically, in that watch list, we have the Chinese EV stocks, which is your NIO, XPEV, Li Auto, all of them which announced deliveries. So NIO delivered about 9,000 cars, XPEV delivered about 13,000 cars, up 115%, and Li Auto also delivered about 12,000 cars, which is up 128% year over year in deliveries. So the Chinese EV sector having a great catalyst, which is deliveries of cars. NIO, the lowest of the deliveries, which is only up 33% year over year deliveries, whereas your Li and your XPEV have over 100%. But overall, giving that catalyst or using that catalyst to bounce almost 2.5% here for NIO. Now at the high of day, 25.17, looks like that could have been the pre-market candle, or even off the even where we are right now. It doesn't matter too much. But here we go. We're about to go test the high of day one more time and go past it. Let's go check on Li Auto. Should be on NASDAQ. Li Auto with 3 million shares traded. Currently with 3 million shares traded, 4.25% up, and also at the high day, very similar to NIO over there. And last but not least will be your XPEV. One of the more spready ones, but today, obviously, because of the amount of volume, because of the catalyst behind it, I'm not seeing a lot of spread. I'm seeing very nice tight spread on XPEV, actually, compared to what I'm used to seeing. Up 5% right now, also at the high day. I would love to see which stock is following the other for a sympathy basket play, so you could kind of let one stock do its thing and then follow the other two for a easier risk-free trade, in my opinion. Maybe Arun can go about basket trading or any other thing that he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, like you can do relative strength, right? That is a big thing. The last thing you want to do, I noticed this in the futures too. I let's just say I take a futures position, and all of a sudden I'm going long futures, but I'm shorting, like, say, Apple and Microsoft. That's a problem. That makes me think twice, because Apple and Microsoft control 20-something% of the NASDAQ. Right, together. Those two names control 20-something% out of 100 names. So that's a big problem. So you're going to have these big names that can influence influence the market as a whole, or the index as a whole. So that becomes a problem. Makes you think twice if the read that you're seeing in one is actually the true read. Now, other names that don't have that kind of index influence, you can trade them independently of the futures themselves, right? But when you get into the top of the list there, where the weights are for these indexes, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, and Tesla, I think, around at the top a little bit, and they have a decent chunk. I think those 6 names have like 40-something% of the NASDAQ. They control 40% of the NASDAQ. So those names you definitely got to pay attention to if you're trading the NASDAQ. I was going through the chat trying to find some other stocks I can potentially look at. Somebody was quickly, before we go on to that, somebody was asking, what is the formula for this little, I guess, scanner? It's not a formula. It's part of the eSignal software itself. So you just kind of, what do you do? If you have eSignal, it's a software you can, I guess, subscribe to and download. You just go to tools, and it's, no, not tools, New hot list. That's it. That's all it is. And then you can just do the criteria. I don't know what the formula is. I'm not smart enough to create my own, so I'll have to use someone else's. That's why they do it. So they've made it very efficient. So why not go ahead and use theirs? So there I am using that one. But when it comes to hot names moving right now, DWAC. Yeah, DWAC's going absolutely nuts in the last in 10 minutes or so. It's gone from 73 to 76.5, still going strong. Hasn't shown up.
50-cent spread.
50-cent spread. I was going to say, it hasn't shown up on my scanner, and I feel that's because the spread's high and the trades are low. So it's moving up fast, but at the same time, the trade value or the trade rate isn't higher than all these other names that are in front of it. So you have Apple, SoFi, AMD sending a lot more trades per second than you have with DWAC, and that's probably why it's not here. I'm pretty sure if I were to scan down, it'll be somewhere down here. But for now, Apple at the top of the list, down 0.5%, and DWAC is still going strong at it's like a 10. Oh yeah, I see it. Okay, at times it's a 50-cent risk, but more often than not, it's like 20 or so. It's done 1.7 million shares on the day. Is there anything stopping this? Maybe 78 to 80 could be potentially a problem. The reason I say that is because on the 20th and the 19th, we kind of bottomed out around this area. So that could be it, but I also wouldn't feel confident shorting that. There's no way. I'm not touching that. I'll just write out the positions that I've got now, and I'll manage them as the best as I possibly can. As I say that, though, NVIDIA coming back a little bit. I still like the long where I've priced it. I also think we can get a decent target because there's nothing stopping us until we get into the high 40s. So we should have some decent value left in this market. Oh, futures stalling out around these 10s. Okay, I might be able to make a move on the futures on the short side if we keep doing what we're doing here around these 04s and 05s on the short side. So we'll wait a little bit before we go for that, but I do have to be smart about how I'm going to allocate some capital here and cash out some of these positions.
Let's go to SoFi. Obviously, I'm holding SoFi still. I'm gonna be holding SoFi for a while. We're up at 8% for a second or two while Arun was talking about DWAC, and then came in the downward candle along with the futures over here. Futures coming to the downside right now. So here comes SoFi along with it. We were high at day 1355. Currently now trading at 1334. Let's see where we can find support on the down move. Maybe at 1310. Maybe at $13 flat. Even if we do go back all the way to VWAP, I'm not too worried about SoFi going to the downside too much. In the long-term spectrum, it is still a great play for me. And for day trading for levels or so, what I do see is this candle high over here near 13.99 or 13.89, sorry. So basically $14 flat. Expecting SoFi to go to near $14 today, and then maybe show us some rejection near $14 and then come back to the downside to close slightly above $13.50 and slightly below $14 is the overall idea that I have for the day plan for SoFi. Since we're talking about SoFi, we might as well go to Palantir and check out what the other stock that we're holding on our portfolio is doing today with 37 million shares, bottoming out at around $11.95, so $12, close to $12 on Palantir. ARK Investments obviously keeps on loading up, but we haven't seen a load up candle coming in on Palantir for a while. Looks like she decided to move some of that money over to Tesla instead. So, and we know how that one's working now. We can go to Tesla in a bit. I have a actually losing trade on Tesla today, which we can talk about too. So yeah, back to Palantir, 3.5% up. Currently rejecting off of the same pre-market levels where it broke off to the downside off the open. Trying to see if we can find support and go back to 1450 or go back through 1450. Speaking about Tesla, so we were trying to trade Tesla today, that same level as yesterday. If you guys remember, this bottom 925ish or so is where I was trying to go short off of, but you know, I fought it a little bit, didn't really work out for me. I fought the short, I fought the long. Overall, I think I lost $1 per trade, and I think I made like maybe at best like 3-4 trades over here. So not too much of a loser for me for Tesla, but overall I'm just happy that I stayed away from it, unlike the last few days where I just non-stop kept battling it, and I gave back my whole day on it. But Activision, my #1 stock on the day, allowed me to be positive today, and we're looking for more opportunities. I wish I kept trading Activision because I just threw up this trend line while Arun was talking about DWAC, and looks like Activision is going to pretty much follow that trend line one more time. So it bounced off of it here, and it bounced off of it over here, and I should have just had some orders sitting up there for a nice clean entry back in and getting back out near 70, 990 or even $80 today, which was my big trade idea, but I broke rule number 1, and hence I can't move past the rule number 2.
Well, I mean, it's a process. It takes time, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you just have to work on eventually to get your head on straight and just get past the dollar value of it, right? I think that's one of the bigger limitations for a lot of people is because you know how they say let your winners run and cut your losers? Well, that has a lot to do with not being too caught up with the dollar value. That's being smart about your strategy. Know what your strategy is. As for anyone who was here or who watched yesterday, I don't have my book here, but I log all my trades, right? And somebody was asking me yesterday, how do you log them? Well, what I do is I'll put down my entry price, the time of entry, the reason of entry. So I have 3 different types of trades. It's either whether I'm playing with a level, I'm playing a level break, or something like that, right? So I have 3 different types, and I'll mark that off, and then I'll move on. And then at the end of the week, on Sunday nights, actually, I'll go through that and I'll review those trades and figure out where I may have made a mistake, whether it's on the entry, whether it's on the management. So I kind of go through it all, trying to fix my mistake and be like, if I had to do it again, would I do it? If I saw the chart now, would I do the same thing or not? And then I'll make adjustments within the strategy based on that. But I think that's the way I approach it anyways. It helps me just because, one, it gets me kind of back in the game on Sunday nights. If you're going out on Friday and Saturday, you kind of forget about the markets, right? You kind of leave things be, and you should leave things be. But then on Sunday nights, I want to get prepared for the coming week. I'm back in the game now. I got to be mentally prepared to play the game again. And you got to be focused and whatnot. So I'm getting myself back in the game, and then I kind of go through the week, and that's it. It just helps me prepare for it, and it helps me to figure out where I'm making mistakes, and I'll make adjustments along the way, and I do that every week. Whether it's been a good week, a bad week, I really don't care. It's something that just needs to be done, so I just do it. By the way, futures, I think it's time for some shorts, so I'm going to put some offers down, see if I can grab some around that 10 area, 45.10-ish area is where I'm looking to grab some shorts. I think there's enough. I think I can risk 40 points on this, which is what I'm going to risk anyway. So 45.50 is going to be the stop. As you guys can see, this is the futures. I don't know why we have charts like that. Let me put it on this one here. Futures, and let's get maybe a 15-minute chart or something, just to show. So yeah, we keep stalling around these 10s, and this is the area I want to play with, so why not take a shot around these 10s? And the reason why there's these yellow zones, for anyone who saw me this morning, I kind of mark off my level and the area that I want to potentially fade in. So these are all fading areas, right? So as long as I get a setup in that area, I go for the short that sets up. And in this case, I didn't get one this morning, but it looks like I can take one now. So I'm going to go and put an offer out in this area, at the beginning of this area. That's also my max risk. So I don't risk any more than 40 points. 40 points is also very wide for a futures trade, but at the same time, I trade accordingly, and I know that 40 points is kind of ideal for me to be on the top end. I know if I can risk 40, I can make 40 back. So I kind of just let it be. So there's kind of my approach on the futures. And somebody else was asking, for Q levels or the NASDAQ levels. Let's take a quick look. Actually, let me take a quick look before I go over. Let me drag this over. This is my daily chart on the NASDAQ. I kind of explained all these lines yesterday for anyone, the 50, the 100, and the 200 DMAs, just to see where program activity might be sitting. Instantly, the first thing that pops up when I pull up these NASDAQ charts is this big red line. That's a 200 DMA. Usually around the DMA, you're going to see program activity.
DMA?
DMA, or the moving average, the daily moving average, right? It's in this area. It's, interestingly enough, sitting right around 15,000. What I like to do, and the only time I would ever have lines is on this chart, the daily chart specifically, because I want to know where institutional program activity could pop off. So I can automatically see here now around 15,000. The actual line is 15,015, so 15 points past 15,000. It's going to be a general area. It's not going to be precise, but you need to know that being in that area provides the opportunity for programs to step in and do some activity, whether it's on the sell side or buy side. Obviously, we're coming from underneath, so I'm probably going to look towards some sell side activity if we were to go up another 120, 30 points or so. So that's one of those things I'm looking at. That's the way I approach it. So NASDAQ, 15,000. Okay, that's what I want to know. That's about 100 points away. Let's take a quick look at the Qs and see where the Qs would line up around that area. Now, I don't have the moving averages on the daily chart for the Qs, but from the daily, well, it's 100 points, so it's about what, $2? No, it's about, I can't remember the math on this, but let me pull up the 60 then. I need some more information on where we can hit resistance, and it's going to be here. It's going to be around this 367 through 370 area. So that's something to keep an eye on. You can see how much we're hesitating back on the 19th and the 20th around this area. So that's where the resistance level is. I think that also corresponds roughly to where the futures zone would be on the S&P. So be aware, we have space to go, but we're going to hit some resistance in about $2.5 to $3 or so on the Qs. For now, we have decent support. It looks like there's some buying south of 360, so we're kind of in a dead zone here. Nothing right here. There's decent sell side above. There's a decent buy side below. Just wait for the market to make a move. It's down 0.25%, relatively flat, and we're just going to manage these positions that we've got.
Awesome. Yeah, chat's confused if I'm still here. I'm still here, guys. I'm still here. Don't worry. And if Arun wants to replace me at any moment, trust me, you guys are going to have a way better time here. Chat's in love with you, Arun, and so am I. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing the knowledge and expertise that you have. Guys, if not for me and if not for Miss V, hit it for that man right there. Smash that like button. I just want to elaborate on how you were talking about how you track your trades and so on.
Yeah.
So I had to hide some columns here because obviously we don't want to show the information. So all you see is the market name, the stock, and my setup names and the year and the month and so on. So basically useless information. But if I can find my scroll wheel, look, we're at row number what, 45,000, and literally this goes back to 0. So I can scroll all the way back up to row number 2, and this is 2020 January 1st when I first started trading at Day Trade the World offices. So I have every single stock that I've traded, every single stock tagged with their setup, and I can click on one of these report pages at the bottom over here. It tells me every single detailed report by time, by volume, by price distribution, by almost every single distribution there is, and just look at the amount of setups that I have, right? There's so many setups over here that I used to trade, even other people's calls. So I used to blame other people for my trades when they gave me a trade. But now it's basically coming down to 1 or 2 setups at the end of the day. It comes down to Momo. It comes down to trading pre-market breakouts or even dollar breakouts and just basic setups. Instead of using a million setups over there, I've come down to basically 1 or 2 that work for me, and the ones that pay me is where I put my money in the most. We already talked about Tesla, so let me quickly go over to why is it green. What are you talking about? Why is it green? Any thoughts on crowd? So let's go check out CRWD. Crowd today with the $180 and 181, I guess, but flat, not really doing a whole much. Very low on volume. The market's basically not doing a whole lot today. Very sideways action, so crowd just following that sideways action for the most part. Barcoding, but it is giving you a higher high and a higher low pattern to get in on the dips if you want to, and get out on the pops every time. If this pattern just continues for the rest of the day, most likely go back to the pre-market high slowly and see rejection at $184 is what stands out for as an intraday level. Let me also see it on the dailies over here. That 183, 184, looks like 183.25 is the candle over here that we hit 3 times in a row, and then we didn't break past that. So 183, 184 will for sure be on watch.
I'm going through the comments, and there's one comment that I think is very interesting. It's from Zori. It says that, Arun, you have struggled for 10 years before you get consistent and profitable. How is it that these youngsters become millionaires within 2 to 3 years of trading? A lot of that has to do with timing of markets. Markets come in cycles, right? And some cycles are easier to trade than others. They're more, I think yesterday we were talking about how last March and April were just like momentum. It was just too easy to make money on momentum. You get in, you're in the money instantly, right? So if you're used to, or you are built on that type of market, and you time it right when it's volatile, right when it's like you can step in, you go long, you just make money, and you have no sense of risk, so you just keep taking shots, and it's all good and dandy right up until you take your first hit. And I think one thing I developed and learned the hard way over the 10 years is I learned to take a loser. That's one thing you need to do as a trader. It's coming. It's coming. At some point, that loss is coming, and it's going to be a big one. It's if you don't understand how to handle them. And I think over the 2-3 years that people have made a ton of money, that's amazing. But at the same time, you got to be smart about how you're trading forward. Are you using that money and then kind of developing a way to manage your risk, or are you still taking the high risk trades to kind of exponentially go from 2 million to whatever, right? And if that doesn't work out, what happens, right? And I think it's the mentality that you learn over the time on how fast you make your money. And if everyone's making money now, it's amazing to see. You hit the market at the right time, but you got to figure out what you're going to do 4 years from now, 5 years from now, when the market's different. And that's the game of trading. That's the nature of the market you're dealing with. It's ever evolving, and you also have to evolve with it. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. You do it while it's working, and once you start to notice that it's not working, you got to stop and you got to change your game and you got to adjust. And that's kind of the reason why I learned over the years that I have to adjust weekly. That's why I have my book, right? I go through my book every Sunday. And the reason I do that is because volatility is evolving and the markets are evolving. And that means my system that I have for the futures or whatnot has to evolve with the market. And I do that kind of change on a weekly basis. So I adjust for volatility, I control risk parameters, blah, 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 all that other stuff. And that has to be done. Otherwise, if you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, it'll work for a time. Sometimes it'll be months, sometimes it'll be years, and then it'll just disappear on you, and you're going to go, what happened? And then you're going to keep doing it, and the market's not going to respond the same way. I remember back in 08, 09, around the time when, the financial crisis, and it was having an absolute meltdown. It was just, you can just start smacking stocks with a ton of shares, and it'll just go. It'll respond to your order, and it would just absolutely take off. And now, you don't get that same kind of response. You're not going to get the same kind of response because the markets are different. It's a different market from, say, 15 years ago or 12 years ago or whatnot. So you do have to be aware of the market you're trading when you're trading it, and you have to evolve with it to keep your money. It's easy to make. I don't want to say it's easy to make money. It's easier to make money than to keep it. And I think the game of trading is to make money and then to keep the money, and then obviously try to make more money. But yeah.
Well put. Yeah, I've heard Neil say that many times. It's making money is good, but also got to learn how to protect that money and not give it back. I'm very honest with you guys. You guys follow me on Twitter, and I put it up there. It's even though I have 16 out of 20 green days last month, my one red day would pretty much be giving back 2 green days, which is not good risk management. Obviously, got to build on it.
What? 2 green days, 1 red day?
16 green days out of 20.
Yeah.
But 1 red day would pretty much be given back 2 green days.
Okay.
So it's not good risk management over there, and it's like very bad emotional management too, because one of those green days should have, if I stuck to my plan, obviously Arun was talking about our conversation earlier, which is if I stuck to my plans and if I did stick to my setups, stuck to my stops and so on. The red days are not supposed to be that big of a red day, and the green days are supposed to be bigger of a green day because my trades were all sound and logical and actually always were working for me in my direction. So all of that, got to build on it, got to work on it. Eventually, we'll get to that level where we're even beating Arun at that point.
Hey, anything's possible in a market. For anyone wondering, I did take the futures. I got a fill there. I got, what was the high? Go figure. I got 09s, which happened to be the high of this little move to the upside. We're priced in. We're okay now. I lucked out, got the fill, but at the same time, even if it goes against me and keeps taking off the top, I'm still going to stick with it. I think for now at least. Yeah, this could change. If I start to see some more buying coming around 4,500, I might be thinking that, hey, you know what, I can get a better price so I can walk away from this and try to reprice this later. I might do that, but for the time being, I think that 09 fill is spot on. For now, it's 4 points in the money, 4.5 points in the money. We're going to leave it be. I do have to manage these other longs that I've got. So NVIDIA is 350 in the money, and I've moved the NVIDIA stop to south of 342. I think if we lose 342 at this point, given how sideways it is, I want to see what they have below 340 before I go for the long again. So 342 is going to be my cut on that. That'll make me like $1.80 or something. And then Roku is the other one I got to figure out. Roku is $3.16. Let's see where we are. I did move the trail stop on Roku as well. Where did I move it to? Oh, 63. Okay, so I moved the trail stop all the way from below 160 to $1 below where my entry is. So in the event the market rolls off again, which is, again, I'm shorting the market but long these stocks and still not moving the trail stop up on Roku. I don't know why, I can't explain it, but the trail stop on Roku is sitting just south of 163. So we'll lose $1 on Roku if it were to come all the way back. And Snap and PLTR also in the money. I'm going to move very soon. As the futures, I don't know. They don't want to back away from these 05s. I don't know what's going on. But I like the price for now. Like I said, I'll stick with it, and we'll see if something changes later.
Since you're talking about NVIDIA, I'm going to quickly take a look at AMD. AMD currently where the 50 period EMA and the 100 period EMAs are near $115.33. Looking for another push back to the upside. NVIDIA was down on the day, right? NVIDIA is, yeah, still down on the day, but I guess flat, only down 0.31%.
Is it down?
Yeah.
NVIDIA, I mean, flat. Okay, yeah. It all depends on how it closed, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's flat on the day, which is what I started with the sentence with. But if you look at the negative sign, whatever. But flat on the day, AMD up 1% with their earnings coming out. Let's also look at Taiwan Semiconductors on New York. Let's see what these guys are doing today. I just want to look at the semiconductor stocks. Come on, Taiwan. There we go. A little slow there. Also flat on the day. Kind of actually looking like NVIDIA's chart more than AMD chart. So let me look at NVIDIA here real quick. Yeah, look at that. And then AMD a little bit stronger than the two, up 1% compared to obviously where it closed at. Having a great couple of days ever since we bottomed out near 99.50. We did break 100 to the downside, went below 100 all the way to 99.50, and now all the way back up to 117.51 being the high a day. In pre-market, I believe wasn't off the open. It was a pre-market high. We flushed all the way down in pre-market to 113, 112.5, I guess. What's that candle? 112.8, and then bounced off of that all the way back to 115. So AMD having a good day over here. Let's go take a look at Softy. What is Softy doing today with the Nasdaq flat on the day still? Your ES flat, but in the positive direction. Microsoft actually down on the day. So as you guys were hearing before, Apple and Microsoft being 20%, you said?
Apple and Microsoft being 20% of the NASDAQ.
Yeah, so Apple and Microsoft being 20% of NASDAQ. If Microsoft decides to not find buyers and go back above to pre-market levels, go test 310 again today, then there's a possibility that the market does not have a chance to go keep on making a test of the day's high. So that short on Arun side kind of looking great now that I'm actually
short on what?
Your future short.
Okay, so
I'm just looking at I'll go to you here. You go.
Yeah, I was going to say there's an update with that. I actually don't like, as great as that was initially, I actually don't like the way it's moving around now. So I walked away from this. I made like a point, like 5 ticks for just south of 08. I got out. I suspect there's going to be another test of these 10s. So I'm going to see if I can't price it up there in the event that we actually take out the high being 1450. So what I want to see is 1450 get taken out, maybe 15 or 20 going, and then us coming back down. So that's kind of the move I'm doing. I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm still open. I'm still watching for the short. I just don't like the activity because when it gets into a certain area, you're looking for certain type of activity, and I'm starting to see the exact opposite. So they may take a run at these highs with the way that the market's moving right now. So back off a little bit on the shorts. We're going to ride the other stocks that we've got up, and for the time being, we are going to take a pause on these shorts on the futures. So
the viewer over here, Fab. Okay, I can't see your last name, my boy. Oh, Fab5 user. Okay, got it. Fab5 user. What do you think about SoFi short? Prad owns it, so I don't think he's cool with it. No. Prad loves shorting stocks, even the one he owns, except for AMD. Trust me. Even then, I shorted AMD a couple days ago and I got burnt on it. But here you go, SoFi. Oh, 666. You know, we love seeing that number. Look at the size on the bids for SoFi, right? The size on the bids are thick compared to the offers right now, and the trend for SoFi is on the upwards direction. You might want to be a little careful trying to short it, but it is trying to come down to VWAP eventually. Let's go look at it on the dailies for SoFi. SOFI. If you look at what day is this? On the 26th of January, we went as high as 1386. So I think if you want to short SoFi, instead of looking for a small pop short to maybe 1310 or so, like if you do short it, you might at best get 10 cents out of it, and then SoFi might just go try to test 1350 another time, or even 1380 later today. So I'm waiting for that 1380 level for shorting, and this is the candle that I'm talking about. This 26th January, 1380, the high a day, and if 1380 breaks, there's a possibility that SoFi goes to 14 and rejects off of 14 instead over there. So that's why when I was talking about SoFi earlier, those are the levels I wanna keep an eye on. Instead of taking a quick 20-cent scalp right now, I'd much rather get a 50-cent trade later on, and goes along with what Arun said earlier, not earlier, but yesterday, which is like, would you rather take a candy now or two candies later? But maybe you can take both. Maybe you can scalp a candy now and then scalp a two candies later. Well, there's multiple setups available here. If you are shorting though, where's your stop going to be? All the way at the high a day? At that point, your risk to reward is pretty much 1:1, and that's not a trade I like to take. I like to take at least a 2:1 or a 3:1 trade, because with the 50% or 60% win rate, if I'm taking 3:1 trades, I am on the road to be a consistently profitable trader, because if I win 60 times and the one time I lose I only give back 1 unit, and the 60 times I win or 40 times I lose I only give back 1 unit, and the 60 times I win I get 3 units, that's a profitable trade strategy right there.
Yeah. So people were asking, like, do we have any positions right now? Yeah, we talked about them. I've got NVIDIA long 240.13. That's up $4.30. I've just moved the stop on that. I haven't done anything with it. Palantir up 20 cents. I've still got to move the stop on that. Snap up 40 cents. And Roku, I think I really want to talk about Roku. Roku's starting to stall out. Remember, a stop on this, I moved south of 163, so I was going to lose $1 on this in the event it came back. So why not take some out in front of this? They're really stalling around the opening range here. So take some out, walk away. That's going to give me $3.20 something cents. And we'll let the remaining half just kind of ride out. Futures trying to make a move towards these 10s. This is exactly what I want to see. But actually what I would prefer, though, if we take out the highs and then come back down. At that point, I know that any stops that were sitting around 45.15 or so, they'd be gone in the event we fail. So if we were to take 15s, which is the high, 45.15, and we continued going, then obviously backing away from the short for the time being is a better idea. In the event that we kind of break the 15s, come back in, I'm taking the short right away. I just want to see what we've got above the highs before I step in and take some more risk on. The longs we're going to manage out. Palantir and Snap, I've still got. Palantir I looked at. Do I want to move the stop on that? No. It's done absolutely nothing that requires me to move the stop. It's done a whole lot of nothing off the open. Obviously it came back down right back into that little 1430 area. What does the daily look like? Do I have anything to be worried about on the daily? Nothing. So it's just taking its time, and this kind of ties into what someone else was asking. Do I take trades every day? No. Trade when you need to, not because you want to, right? What I mean when you need to is your strategy or your approach of how you read the market is telling you that there's a trade here. So you take the trade because the approach is there, right? So in one of those situations, I take the trade. If there's nothing that develops throughout the day, there's been, I think, last week, I want to say for the most part, I didn't have that many trades. Maybe towards the end of the day, like in the last little bit, I had some trades, but on the futures specifically, I didn't have that many trades, and that's okay. You don't need to take a shot every single day. You're not here to kind of grind out every single day. What you are here to do is, though, take the shots when you need to be taking them. So be smart about your execution. And that kind of ties into what someone else was asking is like, how do you deal with trade hesitation? Well, I found that writing them down, writing each trade down that I'm taking and the reason I'm taking it allows me to build a system. And then it becomes about trying to execute my system and not about trying to trade to make money. because now I'm just trying to be efficient with my trading execution, blah, blah, blah. I'm focusing on other things except the money, right? So I'm trying to be more efficient with my trades. And that allows you to just trade it because you're like, okay, this is what my system says. When you take the trade, you're not worried about the losses, you're not worried about the gains, but you are worried about the information you're going to get in return for whatever happens with that trade, whether it's a win or a loss. And then you kind of make the adjustments that you kind of have to make, right? So every loss provides information that you can work with to make adjustments. Every win also provides the same, except you feel a little bit better about it. That's all it really is. And as I say, that future is really stalling around in these 10s. Do I want to step back in? Maybe not yet, but I am looking at these 45 10s for potential re-entry on the futures.
Potential re-entry coming in. Looking for AMC. Looks like AMC is coming down right now to test that candle. Not the candle, what am I saying? The trend line that I just threw up over here. Let's see if we can actually hold up at that trend line. And if we do, that's going to tell me that there's more people and maybe even big money actually using the same trend line to trade off of today. So obviously AMC, your number one volume, number one. I don't know why Indian accent came in over there. Number one volume leader. For the day, AMC 73 million shares. After that, AT&T with 72 million shares. Actually on the downside though, AT&T down 1.5%, so you're 1.1%, and then AMD right after your TQQ. I'm gonna ignore TQQ because that's like the leverage 3 times ETF, so I'm just gonna ignore that one. Moving over to AMD, which is obviously having a blue chipper, blue stock, blue chip. I don't know how to say it properly. The
blue chip stock.
Blue chip stock. There you go. Your blue chip stock being on the leaderboard is kind of questionable because usually you see your low float stocks up there. So that goes to show that we're back into the market area where low float stocks are not your leaderboard for volumes, and your number one is AMC because of that positive catalyst coming in. Still losing money, but having a great quarter overall, which is good for the company. With the move on AMC actually is being also reflected in GME. GME almost made a new high a day. Actually, I think it successfully made a new high a day. No, it did not, but it was very close to making a new high a day. And now with the AMC move to the downside, GME is trying to do something similar along with it. So if I was to draw up a trend line here, looking for a bounce at 114.65 area or so, and follow the same pattern overall. I'm still very surprised to see GME above $100, but having a conversation with someone who apparently has done a lot more DD than me. I don't know why I'm saying apparently. I think he has done a lot more DD than me. I haven't done much on this side. And they are talking about how GME has $15 per share cash on hand, and they're doing a lot of great things for GME, and the shirts, a lot of good things overall that could be bullish for it. I still personally don't believe in anything on a physical retail side, like for tech side. Best Buy, I don't believe in Best Buy. I don't believe in GameStop, because I think all of those will soon be automated to just websites. So any brick and mortar store is soon just gone because of what do you call the word I'm looking for is metaverse. There you go. Because of metaverse, I think brick and mortar stores are soon to be donezo. So GME, they better come out with, I don't know, a gamer land or player land or something where you can buy games directly from the metaverse and have it installed into your computer or your Oculus or whatever. Like, I'm thinking about the future here. I want GME to come out with the future before I even think about the future. So maybe Ryan Cohen, maybe you need to hire me, dude. Hire me. I got some ideas coming out for you for some GME improvement. But until then, still doubtful to see what happens over here. AMC doing strong. AMC is something I would park my money in for sure.
Yeah, I'm just. I see you, Mookie. You wanted me to put up my position board. I mean, I can probably try to create a summary window here. That's what I'm trying to do for you guys. See if I can't create one that looks half decent, so you guys can actually see the positions I'm in, and without actually having to for me to explain it consistently. So I am doing that for you guys right now as the future is still going, still working these 10s. So still working the 10s. Still looks like there's some buying coming through, so we'll leave that be. I am looking through the chat here, see if you guys are talking about other stocks that are moving right now. GME, AMC, obviously, your boy Prad went through them, most of them. Still looking at what else do you guys have? GME, AMC, and then somebody was asking me about Microsoft. Okay, let me go through Microsoft real quick before I continue trying to create this summary window for you guys. Okay, let's take a quick look at Microsoft on the daily. What does it look like? It's stalling out in this area. It makes sense. There's some resistance here around this 310. Do I want to make a trade with it intraday wise? So what I like to do is I like to focus on, because there's so many stocks you can choose from, I like to focus on the ones that look half decent on the daily. If there's too much thinking that I need to do about what it could potentially do in this area, then I probably have better stock to choose from. So in this case, Microsoft's, there's some decent strength. There might be a support base somewhere around 305, and there's going to be resistance coming up to 315. I'm going to have to delicately trade this. I can play both sides of it. I'd rather just go for clear trades, easy longs, easy shorts, something like that. So Microsoft is not going to be the name that I want to play. An example of an easy trade would have been the NVIDIA trade that we were talking about from yesterday. The reason it's easy is because 340 was a problem on the 26th and the 27th. And then yesterday, if you were watching it, it was also hesitating really, really well to get through 340. It was going up a little bit and then getting sold back down. And it was doing this pretty much for most part of the day until the final hour or so. So the fact that we gapped above and coming back into that previous resistance zone, if we're going to come back into it, then you can expect some previous selling to hold the support. So that long is probably the easier of the trade. So that's for me, that's an easy trade to take, right? So I'd rather have more of those type of trades and then try to figure out what Microsoft is going to do. I don't have a set list of names that I'm going to trade every single day. I don't care. I just give me a list of stocks that are going to move, and then I'll figure out which ones are going to be the best ones for me for today. I'll set something up for another day. Let's just say NVIDIA never came back to 340 today. I'll leave that out there and be like, I know I still have a trade there around 340. If it comes back to me, say on Friday of this week, I'll take that trade then. But it doesn't matter how long it takes. It's all about catching the levels as they need to be caught, or trading the levels as they need to be traded. And then once you get them, and they're just easy, right? You catch the trade and then you just manage it. And that, in this case, for NVIDIA, here we are sitting on a $5 winner on NVIDIA. And once you get in, you just sit back, and now I can, relax a little bit, not think too much, because I've done my entry and now it's moving, and I just got to manage the trade as it's going. So that's kind of the game that I'm trying to do. Find the easier trades. Find the path of least resistance that fits your system, and then just worry about those instead of trying to catch everything or trying to trade everything that's moving, because there's too many things that are moving. Right now, just from this scanner alone, AT&T, SoFi, AMD, and whatever this EPR/PG is, Microsoft, this list is always evolving and always moving, and there's always going to be new stocks to trade. It's easier to just catch the ones that you feel are set up the right way, and then you just take them.
People are asking about FUN. FUN actually halted on news, up 9% off that move. Did we halt here? That's 1109, and what's that? 1112. So we halted once already before on that up move, and now we halted again recently at 11. Wait, have we been halted for a long time? Okay, we've been halted for a long time. So we halted once off a move over here, and then that was a volatility halt. We opened off the volatility halt, and then we halted back up at 1121 or so, and we haven't opened up till 1158. So FUN, not PHUN, FUN on New York is halted on news. So obviously we'll wait to see what happens over here. SeaWorld, like the Orca SeaWorld. Okay. So I'm not sure if the news is, well, I guess it has to be good, but I'm takeover. They're getting taken over, or thank you. SeaWorld is set to make 3.4 billion takeover offer. So fund halted. Takeover offer. So we'll see what happens. Cedar Fair. Thank you guys. So yeah, there we go. There's the news. KSCP. Let's go look at that one. We haven't looked at this one today at all. Am I typing it right? KSCP. There we go. KSCP. Night Scope. Robotic I forget what the last few words for the company name is. Anyways, down 34%. I still think this is a no-brainer long. The stock is gonna be trading around these areas for a while, and then eventually this is gonna be somewhere in the range of 50s, 60s. Obviously they're not making much money right now. There's no need for robotic security guards out there. And people still much rather hire humans right now than a robot, which is not a perfection. So on that note, for a short-term short on KSCP does stand out. But if we do go back anywhere below $10 on this stock, it's just a no-brainer long in my mind. Obviously, with Tesla robot coming out with a bunch of competition over there, it is a little name branded as to who's gonna blow up. But these guys are kind of first to market and have shown some from promise. Obviously, you have also Boston Dynamics and a bunch of other competitors who show a lot more promising future than Nightscope. But this is pretty good if you ask me overall. Robocop company, exactly. It is Robocop indeed. Beep beep boop boop. Moving over from the Robocop company, let's quickly go look at Apple. Let's go take a look at what Apple is doing today. 175.31 was the high of the day, and flat, very pretty much flat. Nasdaq is 0.09 and ES is up 0.13. So Apple at 0.37 to the downside. Not too much going on over here. Is that volume candle on the close legitimate yesterday on Apple? That's a big volume candle on close yesterday. Well, if that's legitimate.
Apple was up huge yesterday, right?
Yeah. So big move on Apple yesterday. Big volume on close. Looks like hedge funds moving a tons of money into the close. Look at that closing candle on Apple every day. Hedge funds moving tons of money over here. And obviously, why would they not? It was at 150 just last week, and now we're back to 175. Arun was mentioning yesterday the $188 level that everyone's 188. What am I saying? 182.88. The 3 trillion mark.
182.88
something.
Yeah,
so the 3 trillion mark for Apple coming back into play one more time, kind of like a magnet. Every time the stock has been close to that number, we magnet to it, and then we start rejecting off of it. I think 183, 185 being the all-time high on this stock. I can't wait to see Apple above 200 anytime soon. If that actually ends up happening, 182.94 being the all-time high, not even 183. So Apple going to 200 will be an absolute insanity of a move. People are still worried. Maybe we can ask Arun about this. Obviously with the interest rate hikes coming up and everything, I'm still worried to see if there is any upside move in the market. So what do you think is the hike rates priced in, or like who cares? Just play the market move is what you would say.
What do you think my answer to that would
be? Who
be?
cares? Just play the market move, right?
Just who cares? Just play the market move.
Yeah.
It's too many situations. I've done that kind of analysis in the past where you're like, okay, well, if this comes out this way, it should be good for the market because logically that's the way it should be. Markets are not always logical about how they move. Sometimes there's been situations in waves where good news is good news and good news is bad news. So how the market responds to it, don't try to predict it. Just go with what it's doing at the time. And if you're trading it, then obviously it's that much easier than trying to position into it. But at the same time, just kind of throw your analysis ahead of time out and just be aware for different situations. It could be a positive thing with a negative move afterwards, or it could be a negative thing with a negative initial move with a positive finish. It really doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you're trading what you're seeing in front of you, not about trying to position and be like, oh, this makes sense. And then when it doesn't work in your favor, like this doesn't make any sense. That's the market for you. Sometimes it makes no sense at all, and you just got to respond with the way it's moving. And that's the kind of situation we're in. As I say this, one of the alerts that I put off for this morning just went off. GM finally, it actually came back down, but GM getting above that 54 mark. And I was looking at 54 because it's a nice little area that I wanted to work with on the daily here. Right about 54. If we can get above and stay above 54 on GM, that'd be a nice trade that I want to participate in here. North of 54, we can use 52 as a stop, which is the low for the day. Nice little pop on GM, 50 cents or so. On a spike, though, we need it to settle above 54. This is probably stops, but if we can get some settlement above 54, I think there's a trade here on GM. You can definitely use 52 as a stop. So it's going to be a $2 risk on GM to get the long whenever it happens. And then, hey, once you clear 54, that was the zone that's been there since October, one time in early October, one time in late October, one time in mid-December. And here we are approaching it one more time. Just get it above, stay above, absorb any selling that comes in through 54, and then you really have a clear line right towards 60. So that's the kind of the trade where I'm looking for right now. Everything else is already moving. Let's set up the next trade. I think GM could be one to look at.
GM, General Motors. I'm pretty sure General Motors was also on our watch list. Let me just go double check on that one. GM. No, GM was not on the watch list. Never mind. But make sure you go subscribe to our watch list. A bunch of stocks that we're moving are on there. Let me quickly pull up a stock that's on the watch list. Let's go pull up AT&T. AT&T obviously number 2 on the volume leader today, but to the downside. Now down 4.4%. Let's see what the news says. Trading sharply lower. So earnings expected. Warner Bros. Oh, also the Discovery, the partition of Discovery, and not partition, but the breaking up of the company, so they could bring in more money for the 5G side of the company and innovate or ramp up the 5G, ramping up, which they already have, but airplanes did not like the rollout of 5G. They called it one of the most careless rollout and so on. So I'm still waiting to see. Maybe the airplane guys are right. Maybe maybe not the airplane guys. Sorry. Maybe the people who everyone thinks is cuckoo, going up all the 5G poles and putting them on fire. Maybe they're right. Maybe it does cause problems. I thought it was just a complete hoax and people were just lighting 5G towers on fire for no reason, but looks like it is for a reason.
That's the thing, though. With any new technology, there's always going to be unknown hiccups.
Yeah.
Right? That's part of technological evolution. I think that just happens. I don't want to read too much into it, but hey, there's been a time when, remember when people couldn't use telephones on the phone? Or you can't use cell phones on a plane, period.
Oh, yeah.
Now, at least they're allowing you to turn it on when it's on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's some adjustments being made as things evolve. And I think with 5G, we're still finding out. I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it because we don't know a whole lot about the operation of it, right?
So I would love to learn more about that. So with the AT&T trying to bring in some money for that by diversifying, but pretty much breaking up the Warner Brothers, Discovery, and AT&T at baskets completely different. So we'll see if that one's gonna help out these guys by any chance. And picking another one from the watch list over here, XOM on New York, another stock that I believe that had their earnings today. They did indeed, and wow, look at that move on XOM today, breaking past the pre-market high around 958, around 950, and just never looking back on a tear. 6% up with 33 million shares traded so far. Trying to test 81, we tapped 81 exactly on the offer and never passed. Didn't even break 81 for a penny or two. So it wasn't even a weak break of 81. So maybe there was a lot of size sitting there on the offer that did not allow the stock to go through, and the buyers kind of dried out for the day. Let me also go look at what the all-time high is for XOM, 104.76. So with this positive catalyst on earnings, look at the yesterday's candle. Wait, that's last month candle. So let's look at yesterday's candle. Is pretty much in range, but today's one is the one that dislocates past it all the way up to $81. Looking for maybe a retest of 81 because the market does not want to go to the downside. That was a great read on Arun to get out of his short over there. And if market does not want to flush to the downside and XOM does not want to go back to VWAP or even $80 to find support, then why not move to the upside and test 81 for a break of resistance maybe. XLE.AM. What is XLE doing?
Energy and ETF.
Yeah.
XLE is the energy ETF. But I mean, are you surprised with XLE, right?
Yeah, isn't XOM in the energy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, you shouldn't be surprising because Exxon is on a tear right now. So I mean, XLE being up as much as it is, what is it up?
3%.
3%. So I mean, you have Exxon. If I were to pull up Exxon, what's Exxon up? Exxon's up almost 6%. So no surprise there that you're going to have energy take off to the upside. And if you guys can see my screen, there you guys go. You guys asked for it, a position board. So I've got that up there for you guys so you guys can see at least what I'm carrying. So instead of constantly talking about it, those are my prices, my average prices, the direction, and the symbol in the middle there. So make things easier for you guys when you guys look at over at my screen. We are looking at GM though. GM doesn't want to stay above 54. That's the problem. We need to stay above 54. And we got above, hit some stops, came back down, went back up, and came right back down. So not enough just yet to go after GM, but definitely on deck for a position if we can actually get up there. And Roku really struggling. Wow, really struggling around these opening highs here, well, at least the opening range anyways. It's still going. I'm going to leave the stop where it is, 163. We've already cashed out some for about $3.20 something cents. We'll let the rest go. So there's nothing to be done there. Palantir and Snap, 35 cents and 15 cents in the money. So not a whole lot to be done there either. Palantir hasn't done anything off the open, or at least from where I've priced it anyway. So I'm not going to do anything with that. And Snap, have you gone up at all since... maybe I missed the management or something on Snap. Let's take a quick look at Snap. Yeah, there's nothing to be done on Snap either. It's just taking its time here, kind of drifting back down after going back up from that 32.20 area. So nothing to be done. Futures doesn't want to give me a short. I've got 2 longs deep in the money and 2 longs that have done absolutely nothing, so relatively flat. So we're just going to wait for them to kind of work themselves, and then we'll go from there. I just realized I should actually add one more column to this to show the point gainers on my summary window here. So I'll do that there, Brad.
Are you by any chance a gambling man, Arun? Like you like casinos, sports betting, or anything?
Sports betting, no.
No?
Just because, like, if you're going to do sports betting, you need to be like one of those guys that is aware of what at least the way I look at it, at least what the athletes have done that day, how much sleep they've gotten. Like, you need to analyze it. I'm a very analytical person.
That's way too much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a very analytical person. So I was like, what team's going to win? Well, it depends. Well, what did
LeBron sleep last night?
Is LeBron well rested? Is there any lingering injuries? Is he allergic to some food that he may have had last night, so he's affected today? Oh, there you go. You got to scour like their social media and stuff. Like, and to me, that's just way too much.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Oh, damn. Oh, okay. See, there's sources out there that I didn't even know existed where you can follow someone's heart rate while they're playing. So this is the kind of stuff you need to be aware of. If you're going to do sports betting, you need to be aware of that stuff. At least the way I look at it. You can obviously straight up and gamble, but I play to win. I'm not there to gamble and waste money for no reason. If I'm putting out money, it's because I'm trying to make money back.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So for me, it's all a game of return. Yeah. I want to return for what I'm putting up. For fun, do I go to a casino? No, I can't. No. I can't step my foot in a casino. It's funny because people say that, hey, traders are gamblers.
No,
some are. Some are, and it depends on how you approach it. Is the way I see it. If you consider counting cards gambling,
no, that's like risk-averse trading, isn't it?
No, well, I say counting cards. The equivalent of counting cards is knowing your probabilities, and is almost like developing a trading system. To maximize your probabilities, right? If you count counting cards as trading, then of course you're going to say traders are gamblers. But I don't see it that way. I think if you're counting cards, you found a way to get past the system. Yeah. Right? To move your odds in your favor. With all the odds stacked against you, you move the odds in your favor just enough so you can actually maximize your return. Doesn't mean you're going to be perfect all the time. For sure. But you're going to maximize your return. And the way I see it is, to me, that's not gambling. But it can be argued that it is, and I can also respect that way of seeing it, because if you're putting money to get some money back, you can technically argue semantics, but at the end of the day, it's the way that you're getting that return.
I would love to track your heart rate one day to see what is your flow state and what is your non-flow state, and by that I mean so Patrick Mahomes, the guy that Neil was just talking about, when he had the heart rate ring on, his flow state was when he was about to be in a huddle and about to throw the ball, and the most nervous he was when he was off the field watching the other team have the ball and throw the ball. So his most nervous was then, and when his heart rate was the calmest was when he had to make the play, when he was in control the controllables basically, and that was his flow state. estate. So I would love to put one of those heart rate monitors on you, track you for a whole month, and see what time of the day is your heart rate peaking and what time of the day it's not. But I wanted to segue into basically from that gambling topic into DraftKings. So DraftKings today 5% up at one point, now actually coming to the downside. Markets coming to the downside also. I'm looking at NASDAQ and ES. NASDAQ now back in the negative territory, down 0.2, ES down 0.04. And DraftKings trying to downtick along with both of them. Overall, though, up almost 5%, which is great. 17 million shares traded, trying to hold up support near $23. Let's pull up DraftKings on the dailies. DraftKings on the dailies. We see that this is kind of near the pivot point of the Fibonacci for the daily resistances. So if we go to the 1 minute, what do we see? It looks like we are actually tapped out near the resistance 3 according to pivot points. Obviously, this is calculates on Fibonacci sequences. So we're pretty much near resistance 3 for the day. Looking for maybe more consolidation near this price and a breakout later on in the day of 23.52. Let's just call it 23.50. And then maybe a down move if this doesn't happen, a down move to VWAP where we could find support near 22.68. Kind of crazy how the pivot point resistance and VWAP are pretty much at the same point, and that's pretty much where we bounced off of at 9.51 off the open too. So it looks like DraftKings over here kind of following math today instead of just trend lines and pure emotions that people trade the stock on. At least that's what I trade the stock on so far, and I'm still holding it almost close to back to my average price point. So let's go DraftKings. Since we are talking about DraftKings, let's quickly go over to my long-term account. Why is Meta ETF not being shown? Did they take out the Meta ETF?
What's it called?
Wait, what?
Is it actually called Meta?
It's called Meta, and it's not trading anymore?
Well, then maybe they changed the ticker.
Well, I need to go find out what's going on over there because I actually own these guys on my portfolio.
Wait, you own something? You don't know what happened to it?
Yeah, I have no clue what happened here. They
boy.
just completely stopped trading yesterday or a couple days ago. Oh, it's METV now. METV. Okay.
There you go. They changed the ticker. They're not going to just completely just disappear on you.
Bro, I was going to freak out for a second. METV. So thank you for updating me, guys. Let me just add that over here. METV. Awesome. So anyways, coming back to DraftKings, Palantir, we already talked about Palantir, SoFi, AMD. So I guess the only thing to cover right now is cryptocurrencies. BTC up 1%, almost back to 39K. Ethereum 3.5. Solana, let's go. 12% on Solana. Decentraland still down on the day today, but yesterday we had a big day on Decentraland. I think my only cryptocurrency that's actually in the positive is Decentraland right now, and the Dogecoin up 1% and Cardano up almost 2%, 1.5% actually. So cryptocurrency having a great day there. And if cryptocurrency is having a good day, the chances are Coinbase should also be having a good day. Let's go check out Coinbase. Coinbase up 4.5% today, almost back to $200. We did break 200. That's not Coinbase. We did break 200 previously, and now we're back below 200 with the high day being 201.45. So beautiful move on Coinbase. Let's go check on Riot, Mara, and BTBT, and we'll see what these ones are doing. Most likely should be having a good day to the positive side. There we go. Riot up 5%. MARA also up another 5%. Yeah, 5.3, and then BTBT. Let's go check out BTBT. 4 million shares traded on BTBT today, up 6%, and high day 411, and trying to find support near $4 and VWAP near 398. So looking good for BTBT, but look how much of a move we've given back because of the crypto downfall. So if crypto doesn't pick up and BTBT doesn't go back into these previous ranges, that's going to be bad for this company overall.
Yeah, what do I got here? Snap going back up slightly. Not a whole lot. Roku's starting to make its move. So I just was looking at the trail stop on Roku, 163. I really want to move it, but this is one of those situations where you move it because you have to, not because you want to, right? If you want to move it to protect your gains, you're going to give it up because it's going to be in a location where it shouldn't be. So I only move my stops ever when I have to. meaning the stock's done something new. I can use that information that if we were to say fail this level, then I can actually walk away from the trade. And I think for Roku, I really want to move it, but I there's no reason to. It's stalling, yes, that's why I took some profit, but at this point, not a whole lot you can do. 163 makes is a smart location. If we were to say take out 169, then I think if we were to fail one more time south of 167.50 or 167 or somewhere in this zone here, then I can say, you know what, this trade's not going to work. I can walk away from it in the event and came back down. So I only ever move my stops when I need to, and that also it works. It's a double-sided thing, right? It's a double-edged thing where it allows you to catch more trades, bigger trades. But at the same time, that also means you're leaving a lot on the table in the event that it comes all the way back. So yes, I'm up on Roku here, $3.39. But at the same time, that means I can actually lose $3.39 and on top of that, another dollar. So I can give up $4 to let this thing move around. And that's kind of one of my things. I let things breathe. And sometimes you end up giving a decent amount of change back because of that. But I found that works for me, so I'm perfectly okay. We were looking at GM, and GM still has not, it got close. I mean, it got up there, hasn't gotten back to 54, and is not willing to stay up there. So, hey, as you can see, we are not long GM. We've just got the 4 longs in NVIDIA, Palantir, Roku, and Snap. I'm still open to other things. I think somebody was talking about, what is it? I see you, Tyrone, talking about DKNG. Let me take a quick look at DKNG. I know, Prad, you were just doing DKNG at 2350. Ooh, okay, I see what you're talking about. There's some resistance up here in the 24s. How is DKNG as strength? Can I fade this is the question. Oh, it's way too strong. Yeah, okay, we're not going to fade this. But DKNG is approaching some resistance here around 24 even and change. So keep a close eye on that. If it were to stall out, there could be a trade there. I think the big trade, for me anyways, the one I'm kind of glad that happened today was NVIDIA. The reason being, because we were talking about it so much yesterday, and I was going through the reasoning behind that 340 level. So the fact that it's actually bouncing off of that, it's a great example to show you guys on the approaches that could work for you guys if you were to, go in that direction. But it's just one of those things where right now we just wait. Futures refusing to back away from 10, so that also means, hey, still strength, no shorts just yet. So we're going to hold on to these longs and see if we can grab something else.
Holding on to longs, let's go. Obviously, market is very much sideways today. Tuesday, first day of the month, February 1st, 2022, for anyone who's wondering. I'm not sure why you would be wondering, but it's okay. I've been in that position before where you're questioning what the date is and the year is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so WTI currently, someone said WTI crashing. I don't really see this crash in WTI that you were messaging about, and this is crude oil. And I guess your question about that follow-up question was, what happens if crude oil crashes? That's a big question in itself.
What was the question?
What happens if crude oil crashes?
I mean, there's a great example of that. You remember when crude went negative for anyone?
No.
No? Nobody remembers crude going negative? Okay, so crude
like
went
2 years ago? How long?
No, it was like maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. It was maybe it was late 2020, early 2021. Anyway, it was the next contract month up on the crude contract, and it went from 40-something to negative 30-something. And we're talking futures contracts in the negative. Like, how does that even make any sense?
Happen?
It's because there was essentially storage issues.
So what, they give you money to take a contract at this point? Like, how does that work?
Essentially, because you would remember how crude is traded, right? It's settled. So that means you have to take delivery. Where are you going to store it? And there are only so many people. You have to be like established, certified. There's a bunch of things that you need to be that need to be passed, or you need to have accredited before you can even take delivery. So if you were to take delivery, you need to store it. Where are you going to store it? That's where the issue was. There was no storage available. So you had crude sitting in tankers waiting for delivery, but couldn't be delivered because there was nowhere to store them. So the crude contract, that one contract, went negative as it was nearing expiration. And it lasted. It was hilarious to watch, though, because all you see you're like, it can't go to zero. I mean, like, okay, it goes to zero. It can't go negative. And like, oh, it went negative. It's like, I've never seen a contract go negative before. It wasn't negative by a little bit. It was negative by like $40 like 30 or 40 bucks. It was something stupid. So yeah, if you're wondering what would happen if crude crashes, that's exactly what would happen. It would flip directions and go. Oh, there you go. Prad's got the actual data. What is the price there, Prad?
-40. You're right.
Yeah,
negative 40, 60.
Yeah, there you go. Crude going negative for the first time. They're paying you to take it off their hands, but then good luck storing it, and you also need to have certain certifications to even take delivery of it. So if you were there, you could have bought it, held on to it. I don't know where you would have stored it, but you could have held on to it.
Did that last like one day, that dip?
It was just right at the expiration.
In that moment?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was right at that expiration, because once the contract expires, everyone moved over to the next contract, and then it's like, oh, you know what?
Was there even
It's
a
very
chance
clear.
to like capitalize on that move then because of the expiration? Like, were you even getting filled on that bottom?
I
over there?
wasn't trading it, because
You think there was a chance there? Obviously, we don't know.
NYMEX, I mean, like, I could suspect that maybe if you were short crude contracts, you could hold it as you were short. Let's just say you were short at 40, and then you watched it go to 0, and then watched it keep going. As long as you closed out your position by the time the contract expired, you were good.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
Maybe there was an opportunity intraday, but I've never seen that happen. I probably will never see that happen again. But it did happen that one time for 1 month on that one day where crude went from positive to negative, and life moved on after that.
That's what you live for, I guess, right? You know, half of the game is just showing up and being ready, sitting in your seat, and if you were there, sitting in your seat, ready to take that opportunity, man, would have that been a killing of an opportunity? Wow. That's my first time, actually not my first time, I'll be honest. I heard this yesterday. I was sitting in a Twitter space, and this guy, self-proclaimed 110 millionaire, or sorry, he was saying about 11 million. He made 11 million off of this very same trade, about this negative trade, about this crude oil trade, and he was boasting about it. I don't know. He sounded like an absolute child from the voice, because obviously there's no face to the picture on Twitter Spaces, but he was just boasting about how he smacked this trade, and he became a 11 millionaire in a span of 2 years. And I was just sitting there being quiet. I was like, hey man, more props to you. If you made that money, congratulations. I don't think you want to be that loud on Twitter Spaces about this.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you made money, like, I mean, you can pretend to be something you're not on the internet.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If you're boasting about it and then you can't live up to it, I mean, that's on you. But at the same time, the amount of leverage that's required, remember, every penny is $10 per crude contract.
$10 per
penny. $10 per penny for one contract on the crude. I'll grab the crude contract for you guys whenever I get the latest one. But 1 penny is $10. And the leverage to take a contract is something stupid. So you need to have a decent amount of contracts to kind of pull in that kind of cash. At the same time, though, it moved like 40 bucks to the negative side from the positive side. It moved like $60-something that day. I mean, it's realistically possible if you had decent size. And I don't think anyone would have expected it or believed that it could go from past 0. But I guess, things happen.
Yeah. I honestly didn't even know that was possible until you mentioned it went below 0. That's wild. Come on, guys. Let's go long on the like button. Ooh, thank you for reminding me. I'll do that real quick. Where's this button? Where's this guy right here? Ooh, wrong button. We'll go to this one. All right, like o'clock time. It is 12:28. Obviously, Miss V usually does this, so it kind of escaped my mind over there. Where's the YouTube channel? Here we are. 700 likes, not bad. But obviously, if you guys can take a quick second to scroll over to the like button, hit that. And if you're on the mobile, just go horizontal to vertical mode and turn off the chat for a quick second. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell too. If you want to join us and become a member, if you do become a member, you show up in the chat with the green name and have special emojis and so on. Obviously not mandatory, but every join, every new member helps us, obviously create new desks and makes Mark work hard over here, put up new computers and so on. He's laughing. I hope that joke helped him out over there. He's been working real hard for this whole week now. So yeah, guys, come on, hit that like button. 1,000 likes, our daily goal. And if we do 3,000, you know what happens. 3,000 likes equals, where's my game? Hello? 3,000 like equals, obviously me going blonde. So smash that like button, share with your friends, share with your mom, your sister, your brother, everyone in your family, and let's come hang out. Why is this
Wait,
mic
so
not working?
you
Yeah,
said
what's up?
3,000 likes is you going blonde?
Miss V is gonna color my hair blonde if I go 3,000
Guys,
likes.
there's
Yes.
like I'm watching it right now. There's 3,200 people watching. Can everyone please just click the like because I really want to see it happen. I'm so here for watching this guy go blonde.
It's not gonna happen. There's been 3,000 people before. Half of them just don't like me. They just want to sit there.
But that's even more of a reason. The fact that they don't like you means that they got to do even more. They got to get multiple accounts just to see you go blonde because I don't know how that's going to look on you. But so I actually just want to see that. So yeah. All right. Going back to my screen here, we were talking about crude, right? Crude. This is just for anyone wondering. This is what the crude contract looks like. As you can see, there's very little volume on both sides. Well, I guess at least on this side, it's 30, 20 contracts, whatever. Why is this frozen? I think it's frozen. There we go. That's updated. It's like 10, 15 contracts per side. It's done on our system anyway. It's done 200K. Every penny is worth $10 per contract that you take. So you can imagine how much juice it's going to take to drive this market down. There's enough volume here. I think you'll be okay in terms of crashing. And somebody was asking, can the futures contract go negative, like the S&P equity futures? No, because the crude has to be delivered, right? You have to take delivery of the actual product. S&P is cash settled. So they'll just settle it in cash, and it'll be fine. Like highly, I mean, you know what? I should take that back. You never know. I'm gonna say the odds of it going negative are less than, or very, very close to zero. But I'm not gonna rule out the possibility of some abnormal event taking it south of zero because I didn't think crude can go south of zero. So hey, there you go.
Any commodity going to zero is bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's any commodity. Yeah, it's not a good look. But then keep in mind, though, these are futures contracts, right? So they're only 3 months out. So if you're only looking 3 months out, so it's the contract after that will probably represent the true value as we get near the expiration of this contract. So as this is expiring, remember March 3rd, Friday of March is the expiration date for the current contract we're trading, which is the H22. Which is the March expiration, and then we're going to move to June, which will be the M contract. And as we get near the end, a week before the expiration, we roll the contract. So highly unlikely you're ever going to see this ever getting close to zero, because the odds of that is, yeah. No.
All right. Missed a lot of super chats today, so sorry everyone that I missed out over here. 18 minutes ago, Mike Crahan. Don't use my bookie. Oh yeah, I know you got blocked over there. That's because you're making too much money, Mike. You got to stop making all that money sports betting. Can you look at Zila? Zila reached $1. Yeah, I'll have Zila pull up one over here. Zila could reach $1. Okay, got it. Nick Ganguly, donation for the blonde hair color. Thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend, or $4.99. And Mike Crahan, I love Arun after 11 a.m. says Mikey Crahan over there. Looks like people love the fact that you get to
version of
myself,
exactly. Not the in the game trying to figure out my trades type of guy. Yeah, I mean, now that's the thing, right? In the mornings, you're scrambling to find all your positions and your setups, and you're just focused on everything and that you can potentially take. So, because if you miss out on your entry at the right time, then it's very hard to get that entry later on. As you can see, all of the entries that I've taken, I'm just sitting on them. I'm not doing anything else except managing them, right? And then that's where you got to be on top of it. And then once you've done that, and it's just a matter of management, it's so much easier. Arun should teach us how to make a video on futures. There should be one in, let me see, Market Wisdom. There should be one in the Market Wisdom page, because I remember going over not necessarily how to trade the futures, because it's very hard to kind of put that in the video. You could learn that by watching, but the concept of futures and how to go about kind of knowing everything that you're dealing with. I'll do this. Prad, you want to take over? Let me find this video, because I know it's there.
For sure, for sure. So let me talk about Zila because of the super chat. I hope it's not too late for that. Talking about Zila, it was 15 minutes ago. I apologize, obviously. It is up 5%, very close to $1, but obviously 30 cents for a stock that's below $1. 30 cents is quite a bit of a room for it to go. So it has to go through 80 cents, 90 cents, 85 cents, almost every single barrier on the way up there to $1. So obviously not gonna probably do that today. Up 5% right now. Market's coming to the downside. We're way below. What's up? On Zila?
Look at Zila last week. Look at the top last week and look at
15-minute chart. Look at the top of last week and look at the top of this week. My chart just died, so let me just do this over here. ZELA. You wanna talk about it? I'll put you on. Okay. Zila 15-minute. Where's Zila? Zila is on. Okay, so look at the top of last week over here. I think he's talking about 75 cents flat. So look at that top, and then now we're at the same top again. So this is what Neil was talking about from across the room, and it looks like that's the why we're getting rejected. It's got quite a bit of a room to go to $1, man. We're okay. I'm ready for you. Here we go.
Am I on? Okay, so like Prad just showed you guys the double top there on the 15. I'll show it again. My executions are not showing for some reason, but we shorted this last week. If you remember, you had a couple of days worth of a gap up. There was a 75 failure and then 77 at the top. So the second it got in there today, it's gorgeous. It goes right to 75, peels off that level, goes to 74, and then consolidates and then rolls off a cliff. So when going counter trend, sometimes it's just as simple as finding a level like that. Throw in the fact that a dollar is a key price. It's a nice round figure on the way to $1, ideally, and then you get a pullback into VWAP, which is pretty much always par for the course. That also happens to be the last dip, significant dip that it made on the way to 75, just around the 69 level. So my target is just to get out here 69 to 70. Every single penny, just get some shares down. These trades are there for you. As long as it's doing volume, Sundial's done this before, Zila's definitely done it. We just showed you last week. And they can be on your radar. Not everybody can trade penny stocks, but if you're an active day trader, there's opportunities to be had there in both directions, because this could have been a decent breakout in the morning if you were already looking at it.
All right, coming back to me, people are talking about Ford in the chat. Ford currently flat on the day at 0.5, 0.4. Let's see what it wants to do. Looks like it's holding up at the 100 and the 50 period EMA at the moment. Looking for support, maybe even back at the VWAP if it does fall down a little bit under. Looking at NASDAQ, looking at SPY. Here's your NASDAQ. Here's your NASDAQ on the negative side, currently down 0.34% and below VWAP on the 3-minute. And here's your ES, which is your SPY 500 futures. Am I on me? I am on me. Just making sure. So here's your ES. Which is also down on the day, but pretty much flat, below VWAP at the moment on the 3-minute, and looking to extend that negative move in the market. A lot of these stocks that I was previously long have come down quite a bit. For example, Activision. We are long Activision again. We're buying these dips where we're waiting for a pop back to the 79.80 or $80 flat, at which point I would love to take my profits on this bad boy, add to the money that I've already made on Activision today. Check Dave flagging a high. Let's go check out Dave. Dave currently holding up at $14 and trying to find support around here. 1 million shares traded. Where can I see my chart? There we go. Trying to find support at $14, which is slightly near these ranges, but we could dip at the range low near 1380 also to find support if we want to, and the range high over here looks like 1420 kind of being a barrier, even though the high day is at 1440. 1420 being the real barrier for the day here on well, I'm losing words on Dave. Tesla, let's go take a look at Tesla again. Obviously, I had 3 shots on Tesla. We're back to the same price point where I was taking shots on Tesla. You're kidding me? Like, is this gonna ghost chart on me? If so, then I'm gonna have to restart it. But anyways, 925 was the level I fought my longs and my shorts on this stock, and we're right back at that level on Tesla. Looks like this price point is gonna be a little sticky. We're gonna clearly clear that level away from it and see if we're gonna use that as a support or a resistance. Wow, I forgot that I didn't even clear the data. I just closed the chart. So let's see if we can load this back up and the chart works. Not really. So we'll quickly do this. Go to multiple. Nope. We go chart data, clear data. Okay. Apply. Save default. Okay. And then we reload the chart. So here comes the reload. And okay, I'm reloaded. Awesome. We're back. So here's Tesla 925 holds up, and we're looking to bounce off of that. Looks like we're pretty much near VWAP at 925. So looking for a move back to the 100 period EMA, the 50 period EMA, and what in the? I thought that was Sean for a second. I was like, what does Sean want? What up?
We're doing a test,
You're doing a test?
and we want to ask everybody for likes to test something.
Okay, so looks like the production team, Rob and Lucas, maybe just Rob, so I don't give Lucas any extra compliments over here. But yeah, it looks like they're gonna do a test, and the test involves you guys to hit the like button for some reason. So for anyone who's out there who hasn't hit the like button yet, please do me a favor and hit the like button, because Rob needs to do a test out there. So Rob, let us know if the test works out eventually or not.
And Prad also wants to go blonde, so please hit the like.
I'll go blonde, but yeah, 3,000 likes is the number you guys got to get up
What
to
are we at
3,000
now?
likes. We're at 1.1, I believe.
1.2. Come on, guys. You guys are like third of the way there. You can do it. If we can do 1,000 every hour, it's doable. We can get this guy going blonde.
1,000 every hour. Oh my God.
1,000 every hour. We can do it. So yeah. So I while I was gone, I went ahead and got some lunch. So anyone who's wondering, it is pierogies with some grilled chicken. Well, pierogies, and on the side there's grilled chicken as well. I skipped the salad, so that's for lunch for you guys.
Did you put the green parsley whatever
No,
on it? It
the
came
green
like that?
parsley was on it.
Bro, that's like the first time pierogies look so good coming into office.
Yeah, well.
Usually these pierogies just come like
They come pretty sad, yeah.
pretty sad.
Yeah.
Yo, that was the first time it comes so good looking. Okay.
All right. Okay, back to what I was talking about. Somebody was asking about futures, right? Oh, what can you watch futures or whatnot? Watch me trade futures. So we did do some. So I think Sean's got. I don't know if I'm in this video or not, but I'm in some of them. These futures ones. So in Market Wisdom, just type in Market Wisdom futures. And that's our education page, Trader TV's education page. There's 5 videos. So one of them has my face on it. But there's like at least 5 videos with trading strategies and just trading overall. I think there's some that Niels talks about and Sean talks about. And then we've got Valeriia here. I'm not sure which ones I'm in, but definitely go through them, because it definitely is valuable information from our Market Wisdom page, because it's there for education, and that's all the videos that are there. So just keep an eye on that. What happened to Roku, man? Futures came off, yes, but Roku, what? That was like $3 in the money. Now it's $1.40. Did I time that exit? Yeah, I did. Okay, so this is what we were worried about with Roku. It was really stalling out around that opening range. We got some out right here. You see that red candle and that red arrow in the middle of that green, and it fell off like $2.50. Still in some support. Remember, the trail point for the remaining portion is down here at 163. So we can still lose $1 on the remaining half and still net positive because we cashed some out. So here we are waiting on Roku. And I guess the market has come back a little bit. I mean, it fell off, not a whole lot. But I remember, we're still looking for potential shorts around this 45.10 area. So the fact that it's really backing down makes me want to take the short on a move up. But at the same time, I don't think we're there yet. Something about this buy zone bothers me, about this 95 area that's willing to support this market. Kind of bothers me quite a bit, actually. So I'm going to kind of walk away from this for now. I want to see some more around 10. If I can get some confirmation of that sell zone more than what I'm seeing now, I'll go ahead and take that. I'm noticing that futures contracts, crude futures contracts, since we had them up, they popped a little bit here. You'll notice that this is up about, 30 cents or so? 30-something cents in the last few minutes there. So that's something to keep an eye on. Crude going up, market balance back down a little bit, NVIDIA coming off a little bit. So everything is in trail mode. The Palantir and Snap is flat. We haven't done anything with. NVIDIA is up $2.25. But I remember I told you I moved the trail stop on NVIDIA to south of, where did I put it? South of 241. So we're almost there to on the exit of NVIDIA. We're just giving it a chance to move around. But again, when you trade the way I trade, that also means that you're not going to catch these instant pops, right? That easy $5. Yeah, I gave that up because I thought we had more, and I'm just going to trail it out. And I'm okay with what happens after as we fall off a little bit. But I think if the market keeps stalling like this, we definitely have to take a shot on the short side on the futures, back around those 10s if we can get it. I think for now, though, oh, someone says down goes Baba. Why? What's Baba doing? Okay, trailing down. Yeah, it's going down today, but like in terms of activity, how can I really make use of this trade? Because it's not any close to anything that I can work with, right? If I want to go for a short, I prefer the short somewhere around this 128 area. If I want to go for a long, probably somewhere south of 122. It's in the middle of nowhere, really. So it could be going down today, but if you see a setup, mark it off. It may not be ready today, but it can definitely be used at a different point. So that's kind of what you're going to mark off with these, I guess, with these type of trades, anyways. And Arun, can you talk about bond, gold, oil futures, Forex correlation? I mean, that's a lot of different things. Okay, S&P bond, you're going to have a correlation there because it's going to be treasuries versus futures contracts. I think the best way to look at this is going to be Fed Day. Fed Day was last Wednesday? No, 15th, right?
I think you're right.
Because I remember going short
15th of Tuesday, yeah.
the 15th. So we'll go to, let's just, TLT is a 20-year that you can actually look at.
I thought it was a 10-year.
What?
TLT?
TLT is the 20.
Oh,
Pretty
okay.
sure TLT is the 20.
I thought it was a 10-year treasury.
20-year. It's
Okay.
a 20. All right, let's just go back to the 15th because we know that what happened on the market that day, right? It took off to the upside, right? Futures absolutely on a tear to the upside. So let's go back to the 15th. And TLT, what did TLT do? Where's the 15th? Right here. And actually, you know what? Let's go to the 5-minute. You're going to have an inverse move between, I guess, the futures and the equity futures and bonds for the most part. But I need to go show you guys. This is the best example. Is that even the example? Where is this? I don't know. I can't seem to figure out the date when it actually happened. What am I missing here? I'm missing something. I'll get back to this, guys. But when it comes to Forex and whatnot, that I really can't because you have to tie in the Fed with the bond. It's all tied to the Fed, right? It's all about interest rates at that point. It's going to interest rates going up. It's going to demand what?
February 15th is the Tuesday. It was on the 11th of January, sorry.
Thanks, Prad.
My bad.
11th of January. No, this doesn't look right.
Either 11th or the 18th. It was on the...
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday, so it's
Okay,
the
hold
12th
on.
or 19th, sorry.
Okay, 12th. Not the 12th.
So the 19th.
And the 19th. No, something ain't right. I'll look into it after.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to have... It's a very complex relationship. Everything has to do with... for the most part, if you're looking at bonds, futures, and Forex, it's going to have to do with the interest rate. If you're looking at gold and not gold, if you're looking at oil and Forex, it could be related to hedging from massive funds or massive holdings or energy companies. Because at the end of the day, if so let's just say a tanker or an energy company wants to lock in a specific price, they're going to have to hedge that out with the contract and the dollar value, right? So they can go into the Forex market and do that kind of hedge. So that's a different relationship than versus when it's interest rate related, which would be bonds, gold, bonds, gold, and the equity futures. The equity futures because the companies within the index are reacting to the move, right? You have banks that are going to react to it. You have other companies that are inside the index that are reacting. That's why the futures themselves react the way they do. Personally, though, when you have Fed activity, I stay away from the index futures. The reason being is because every component reacts differently. It's not always positive for everyone. Out of 500 names in the S&P 500, not everyone is going to see higher rates as a good thing or lower rates as a good thing. Depending on what business you're in, sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing.
Like for banks, interest rates would be a great thing.
Yeah. So banks are going to take off. So I would specifically start looking at the direct impact companies or stocks that have direct impact. So gold is a direct impact, right? You're going to have treasuries, direct impact, banks, direct impact. Those are the names I want to trade on Fed Day, not the futures, not the S&P equity futures. That's a more complex relationship. That's a more tougher game to figure out. So I kind of move towards the direct, futures. I move towards like the names that will move instantly. because good is good for them, bad is bad for them, not because, oh, you know, we move up initially and then we spin around because other parts of the index see it as negative and all that stuff. So I don't like to play that game. It's too complicated. I'd rather be straight up, play gold, play bond, play banks if you want to.
Awesome. We got a super chat coming in asking about Mara from Nicole Harris. So let's go take a look at MARA. We did take a look at MARA before. For when we were taking a look at all the cryptocurrencies. So obviously, if your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your Solana, your Dogecoin are all flying off to the moon today, well, not to the moon, I'll take that back, but having a good green day overall would reflect in the pattern for MARA, for your BTBT, for your riots, and number one off all of them would be Coinbase. So MARA 4.7, almost 5% up today. Back to VWAP and trying to find support near the 100 period EMA/VWAP. Let's go look at what Coinbase is doing. Obviously should be looking very similar to that chart. So 4.5% again, but not all the way back to VWAP. Actually finding strength above VWAP near the 50 period EMA, slightly above $198, and looks like it wants to go test $200 one more time. Keep in mind though, your markets are very sleeper, putting me to bed over here. It's like you know, The Rock has me in a chokehold. I'll explain where that joke comes from. It's like Rock has me in a chokehold over here, and just so this is our Discord. Here we go. Rock's just putting me to bed, putting the whole market and me to bed with this boring, nice sideways action in the market. Obviously, more directional would be good. And right now, following the overall market over there is the rest of the stocks. So Coinbase holding up. Let's go check a look at Microsoft, which is your one of the bigger stocks in the Nasdaq weightage. So Microsoft coming back to the lower day, slightly under VWAP and actually down 1.4% right now. Let's go take a look at Apple, which is your number one weighted stock of the Nasdaq basket over there. It should be the number one weighted of S&P 500 too, right?
Huh?
Apple is number one of S&P 500 also.
Yep, Apple's at the top of both lists.
Both of them is at the top of both of them, and you know, pretty much, I'll say flat. Even though we're down almost 1% on the day, we're very close to yesterday's close. Market's so sideways and so close to 0% that I think an uptick in the market could easily take Apple back to 175. So very, very hesitant on pulling a trade on the overall Nasdaq sector. You know, being flat is a position in itself. Not saying that I am flat. I have 3 positions in the bottom left corner. You can see I've made 49 trades on Activision, which is currently down 10 cents. I've made 38 and 20 trades on these other 2 stocks, which I'm in the money on. But like at the end of the day, being flat is a trade in itself. It's a position in itself. With markets doing these whipsaw action off the open, and even now up and down and up and down and then going sideways, there's going to be hard, at least for me with only 2 years of experience, to find the trades that can add to my P&L month over month, day over day, instead of taking away from it. So Tesla could have been one that could have hurt me today because of the sideways action on it, up and down and up and down. I could have easily been burnt on it. So what did I do? I stepped away from it. I went to the setups that paid me. I went to stocks that I have more conviction on because of the yesterday's news, such as Activision. I'm buying all the dip by longs, and I'm trying to get out all the way at the top. I'm not moving until the stock gives me $80 based on those targets, but that's a lie. Those targets are from my trying to get short instead of my actual targets. So once we do get a pop back above VWAP, we'll try to take profits because our average currently 79.20 and the stock is trading at 79.08. Prad's position will soon be as a blonde Indian. There's a lot of blonde Indians out there.
I haven't seen one, so I'd like to see one now. Come on, guys, 3K. We're almost at halfway. We've got about an hour left. If it's doable, come on, now's the time to do it. Hit those like buttons because I really want to see this guy go blonde. Like, will you do the beard too if you go blonde?
No,
will you do it straight up?
You can't do the beard. You can't do. It's gonna look so weird for.
But you should do it though, just to make it match.
Nah, you can't even see my face with the blonde beard.
That's
then.
okay.
Like, what's the point?
We don't need to see your face.
I mean, you can't see the beard. It's gonna blend with my face. I mean, that's what I meant.
All right.
But No, how close are we to 3K, man? With Arun here, looks like you guys are just gonna push it all the way there. I didn't believe we're gonna get to 3K anytime soon. 1.4, we're very close to our all-time high, which is at 1.6. So it looks like might just happen with having this guy next to me, encouraging you guys. Come on, man, what are you doing out here, bro?
It's like, Frank is like, Arun, can't you fudge the numbers or something? I can't. Unfortunately, I can't. So it's gonna be can't I fudge the numbers?
Oh.
I'm like, unfortunately, I can't. Yeah. So this is up to YouTube. So as soon as we see this at 3K at the bottom, I'm gonna screenshot it and send it over to Sean and Neil so they can never let it go. And then I'll remind Valeriia. I'll actually send it to everyone that's part of Trader TV to make sure that Prad gets it done. So I'll be on top of it. We just need to get to 3K because I do need to screenshot it and then get it on his. I just want to see this guy go blonde. It's a right time to do it though, Prad. Think about it.
Summertime?
Well, we're still in winter here.
Like, this is gonna get spring, summer.
Well, by the time it kind of, if you get it, let's just say we get 3K today, right? And then you go and do it next week or something like that. Let's just say you do it after Valeriia comes back. That's mid-February. You're starting off Valentine's Day in a good way.
Yeah.
Right? And by the time it kind of washes out, you could be in like early spring.
Yeah.
It'd be like a new start for you.
All things looking bright ahead.
There you go.
All things looking bright ahead, like my blonde hair, dude. No, I can't. I actually will try it. I did want to try it one day, but I was too scared. I think my mom would be a little, little question.
That's between you and your mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I never did it. But now I have an incentive to. Now I have a reasoning. If my mom gets mad, I'm like, hey, I have to do it for this show. You can get mad at Sean and Neil and not me, and I can just I could offload the risk onto my bosses.
For what?
My mom could yell at them and not me.
Oh yeah. If you, it was part of your job.
Exactly.
There you go. It was part of your job.
The risk.
Yeah, but that's the other thing too, right? You can't we also need to set boundaries. Like you can't wash it out. You can't recolor it. It has to naturally fade out on its own. Okay.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Arun, what languages do you speak? I've never actually asked you that question. That's straight from the chat.
Languages. Well, I know English. Well, in Canada, in Canada we also do French in high school as a secondary language. It's mandatory for first year high school.
Till grade 8, I believe.
Grade 9, I think.
Grade 9, okay, yeah,
first
you're
year high till grade 9.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Sure?
I think it's grade 8
anyways.
because I didn't have to do it grade 9.
Okay, anyways, I did it for first year. You just have to get the credit, and that's all I cared about.
Yeah.
I just wanted the credit because I didn't want to do it. So I passed with a 51. I never took it again.
Me too.
There you go. They just wanted us out of the class. So they never wanted to see us again. So we got that 51. We got out, and I never did that again. So I know random words in French. I'm learning Spanish now. So I've been learning Spanish for about a year now. So I understand Spanish, but I think I'm just not fast enough to speak it. Like I'll understand it if you speak at a moderate pace, but if you speak at a normal pace like some people do, I can't keep up. So I'm not there yet when it comes to Spanish. And my background, I'm Sri Lankan, but I'm Tamil, so I know that as well as a language.
Do you speak Tamil fluently at home?
With my parents.
With your parents?
With my parents, I do.
Yeah, I speak Hindi and Telugu fluently, and I have to flip-flop between both of them. Like if I'm around my dad doesn't understand Telugu, but so around him I'm Hindi, and then around my mom I'm Telugu, so I'm all over the place. And sometimes I'm just mixing all three languages. I'm mixing Hindi, Telugu, and English, and all over the place, and my brain just explodes at home. But you know what though? Apparently, the more languages you speak, the better for your brain because you're always connecting these neurons and pathways and so on. So I'll take it.
Yeah. I was scrolling up on the chat, and someone's right after the language speaking thing. Someone, where was it? Someone says both of you guys go blonde. That's not happening. Yeah. This is not about me. This is not my show. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just here filling in for somebody, same as I do on that show. I'm not part of this. Remember, guys, I'm a ghost. I just show up randomly, I do my thing, and then I go away. So this is all about Prad, and you're going to see his beautiful blonde face for 1.5. We're halfway there. Beautiful blonde face for 3 weeks. How long does dyed hair last? Like 3 weeks, maybe a
I
month?
think so. I've never done it. Valeriia would
Valeriia
be a better
would know.
answer, yeah.
Valeriia would definitely know. So there you go. That's definitely one of those things that I really want to see happen. So if you guys can just double up from where we are right now, 1.5K to 1 point or to 3K
This guy, dude.
would be. I'm gonna be on this now.
This guy, dude.
I'm gonna be on this now. I'm gonna be on this all week. So if you guys are tired of me talking about him and his blonde hair, I'm sorry,
You're
but it's
just
gonna
getting
be.
started.
Oh yeah, you got me for another 8 days after today. So yeah, you're definitely gonna be. You're hearing me trying to get this guy to go blonde. So that's one of those things. We know what we need to do. I got some ideas now. We need to talk to the morning show and see if they can't let people know just to come over here, just to watch the first little bit, and then just to hit the like button, and then they can go about their lives. But I'm gonna find a way to get this to blonde. Frank, I can't fudge the numbers, but I can definitely move things around and see if I can.
I'm sweating now.
See if I can get things to work out.
Now I'm actually sweating. Okay, now that has me worried. Now there's an actual potential chance here to hit that 3K sometime this week. Oh boy, oh boy. This is why you don't let Arun take over those like account, guys. What did you guys do to me? Anyways, no, more likes the merrier. So we'll have to get it done. Talking about the market back again. Looks like QQQ bounced off the VWAP over there. Oop, that's not the right button to click on. There we go. So QQQ bounced off of VWAP one more time. How many times have we bounced off of VWAP since the open, and how many times did we keep getting rejected from the day high near 45.15 on the ES, and on the NQ we are once again similar pattern, bouncing off of VWAP and then going back to looks like 1920 1940 highs on the NQ over here. More sideways range action, more putting me to bed action going on. No real trades that are really presenting itself, if you ask me. Where is SoFi currently? SoFi did go to 1355, and then obviously that was the previous high over here. Someone was asking us for a short near these ranges, so I did say, you know, your potential target to the downside is about a 20-cent win, and your stop would have to be also another 20-cent stop. So a 1:1 trade, not something that I would like trading, and it's doing exactly that, bouncing off of 31.10. And now if market with this nice green candle coming into the market on the 3-minute, this could be the push on SoFi to go test that $14 level that we were talking about earlier. We can also go look at DraftKings. DraftKings almost close to $24. That's not DraftKings, that's SoFi. Here we go. DraftKings very close to $24. We still got another 40-cent room here, obviously, but this uptick in the market could push DraftKings a little bit more to the upside, because we consolidated sideways while the market was going up and down, and now that the uptick comes in, should give that little oomph, that push. Also closing of lunchtime. We're at 1 o'clock now. Lunch hour has ended, so people should be coming back to their seats after eating their fancy sushi lunches or wherever that they go to, and start pushing volume in the market. So I'm expecting a push in DraftKings to $14. I'm expecting a push on AMC, maybe back to $18. We're currently at $17.65 on AMC, below VWAP, and I'm also expecting a push on what's the ticker that I'm looking at? AMD. Push on AMD back to high a day near 117 maybe. Obviously, kind of looking sideways right now with 1% on AMD.
Hey, Prad, you want to know where we are with likes? We're at 1.7, bro.
Oh, my goodness.
1.7, bro.
What the heck?
We're getting closer and closer. You know, once we hit 2 o'clock, or not 2 o'clock, once we hit 2K, you're going to be...
I'm sweating already, dude.
Oh, I'm gonna find a way. I'll find a way. If I can find a way to trade the futures, I'm gonna find a way to get this thing to the 3K. I've got 2 weeks to figure it out.
Are you sure you're not using a bot or something to run this up right now?
I'm not. I'm talking directly to the people, and they want to see the same thing. They want to see you go blonde. So we are getting closer and closer. Before I continue with that little thing, let's just do a quick update with the positions and what I'm gonna do in terms of, because the market moved back up. Obviously, we were sitting at 44.95, back towards 45.10. This is the area that I do want to look for some shorts, but it's not ready yet. So I'm not in the short just yet on the futures, but whoa, what was that? Was that a real cross? Damn, okay. There was a hard cross for about 3 points. Yeah, there was a decent cross there. It was sitting at like 08 and it went right to 04.50. So there's some volume coming in. Obviously, this is what you would expect at the top end of the range, but there is definitely some volume coming in on the sell side on the futures. I'd like to take a short, but I'm just not there yet. I'm not completely convinced that this market is ready to go. Volume is there. This might change. With the market's relatively flat going into the end of the day, as we near the second half of the day, this might accelerate towards the end, and that's what I'm looking forward to, right? So for now, we're not going to do anything, but we might be making a move soon. NVIDIA, you see the NVIDIA long right here, up $3.15 in the money right now on NVIDIA. And NVIDIA has done absolutely nothing that requires me to move the trailing stop. The trailing stop, believe it or not, is actually right below where this, oh, you don't even see it with my face, is right below this 342 area. So the fact that we got really close and then bounced right off of it means that I put the trailing stop in the right location. The reason I'm willing to do this, though, is because if we lose that 345 for like the third time, there's probably no point of holding that long. So we'll leave that alone. That's NVIDIA. And then the other big winner was Roku. So Roku here is, again, I think we talked about this one. Nice little long here on the move back down. It went all the way down to 160 and change. Bounced all the way back up to the opening range. We got some out. Trail stop on this is 163. If we can clear, I think 168, I can start moving the stop on this. I'm not there yet. It's at 166.60. See if we can get it to 168. Once it gets there, we'll move the trailing stop. And what else do we have? We have PLTR as well. PLTR is flat. I think we talked about this, right? PLTR doing absolutely nothing since we got in. Apart from going down and then coming right back up and going sideways, we're still waiting for this to break out. So once we cross 1450, I can move the trailing stop on PLTR. So we'll leave that alone. And the last one is Snapchat. Snapchat is up 44 cents right now. And I just need to find a way to move the stop on this if there's a reason for me to do it, right? So right now, there's nothing. But I think if we can get into this 3370, 3380 level, then I can try to protect against the possible failure of the opening range. So for now, we're going to leave it. But if we get up that high, then I can finally move the trailing stop. I'm in long at 33. Stop on this is south of 32. I might be able to move the trailing stop to 33 if we can get up to 33.80. So those are the 4 longs that I've got. Nothing else apart from the futures that I'm trying to figure out where do I go short and when do I do it. I'm still waiting for these 10s to figure itself out. There's some volume. We just saw that as it crossed from 08 to 04. So looks like sellers might be getting a little bit more active now with these shorts. So it's 1 o'clock, right? 1:05. I want to say in another hour and a half or so is when we should expect some volume to start popping in as people come back from lunch, as Prad said, people coming back from their fancy lunches and whatnot. Anyways, anyone wondering, my fancy lunch is pierogies. Someone was asking, what am I eating? It's pierogies off to the side.
People were asking about Shell. Arturo Diaz, can you check SHEL? I see Shell is actually moving on trade ideas, sorry, not trade ideas, Thinker Trading View. And looks like it's the IPO day today for the stock, but I can't find it on our platform for some reason. SHEL on New York. So maybe it's blocked on our platform. Is that a possibility? But it looks like 1 million shares have been traded, 139 billion market cap. Fresh IPO. Shell PLC engages in the oil and natural gas production. So could be bumping up based off the XOM move over here, going from $51 to $52. But no Royal Dutch Shell PLC American depository shares, each representing 2 ordinary shares of what? 2 ordinary shares of what? Can I see this? Was RDS.A switched to Shell? So maybe that's why we haven't seen it yet, or it hasn't switched yet. Has it? RDS.A. Let me see if we can pull this one up on here. Yeah, for some reason I can't pull it up on our platform, so I can't look at. Oh, there we go, RDS.A. So it did transfer over from this one to SHEL, but it's just not on our platform today. So most likely we'll get it tomorrow, or it's blocked because of the lack of volume on it. But overall, it is. I can't even tell you how much percentage is up or not, but it is moving to the north side is all I can tell you. And for supports and resistances, I guess you would have to go to RD or whatever the other stock was to find out on that side. Not switched yet, but soon. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys one thing. Just in case you guys don't know what the like button looks like, it looks like that. I did a quick search. Just in case you guys don't know where it is, if you scroll down from the video, it's right there. If you're on your phone, just hit that. We're at 1.8. I think we can get to 3K. Get Prad going blonde. It looks like that, by the way. So I think we're getting closer, Prad, and we're definitely getting closer. We're at 1.8. So just to make things easier for you guys, I'm really trying here. I'm trying to get this thing to 3K, and if I can't get it done on my own, we're gonna have to bring in some other people to help. So, Prad. Is there certain brands of blonde hair color that you like?
I have no clue. So
we're gonna
I've
figure
never
that
done
out.
it.
Maybe we'll message Valeriia. And see
I think she the brand name that she actually IPO'd when we were trading it. It's Ola Herkson or something. Ola Herkson, and it's a public company now.
I'll leave that up to her. You and her can figure out what shade of blonde you want to go.
Yeah,
but it is going to be blonde. It's going to be. I think you'd be pretty fly looking blonde.
I'll pull it off.
Yeah. I think you look pretty fly going blonde. I don't think we have anyone on the floor right now that's actually blonde.
What's Greg? Like brown hair? What's Greg? Black hair? I don't even know what Greg hair has.
He's brunette, isn't he?
Brunette? Okay.
I thought he was brunette.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy. If you weren't shaved, if you weren't fully bald, would you be blonde? No, Randy's not blonde either. So he was the only hope apart from Greg. But it looks like Prad will be the only blonde guy.
Oh yeah,
is he?
Mark's blonde. Yeah.
Is that like a darker blonde?
Yeah.
Darker shade of blonde? Dirty blonde. Okay. He filthy blonde.
Filthy
okay,
blonde.
So we have one blonde person, but you can't go the same color as blonde. I need you to be like the Valeriia blonde. We're talking like bright blonde.
We'll hit Kanye West blonde. We'll hit Kanye West blonde.
Sure.
Okay, just for you, we'll go all the way there. We'll go Chris Brown, Kanye West blonde. We'll keep the face nice and black still, or the beard nice and black still, and we'll see how it works out. Maybe we'll get some phone numbers. Maybe we will not get any. We're not getting any right now anyways. So maybe that streak just continues for a little bit longer. You have anything you're looking at right now, Arun?
No, it's just the futures, right? That's the only thing I care about. Right now, all the stocks, especially the time of day we're at, you got to be smart about how you position as well. So if you position in the morning, then you're writing it out. It's very hard to position into trades, and I find this afternoon show when I was doing for these guys there is the hardest thing to do, because if you don't have trades that are carrying over from the morning, it's very hard to find movers in the afternoon. You'll get lucky with some news releases and whatnot, but it's very hard to find movers. So as you can see here, my 4 positions, I'm just going to ride those out. That's it. That's all I can really do. I can't pick up anything new. I see the names that you guys are throwing out. Some of them, though, aren't set up the way I would prefer them to be to take the risk. So I like a certain way, a certain setup for me to take that risk. So once I get that, I'll go ahead and take it. But for now, I think futures is probably the only thing I can position into, because the way it is, it's near the area that I want it. It's showing me the volume that I want to see, but it is showing some buy side action too. So I just want to make sure that the high gets taken. I think for me, it's the high. It's that 45-15 area. Take out the stops. There's probably some stops sitting here trading near the top end of the range. Take out the stops, come back in, and then we can go for the trade there. And I'm still waiting on GM too, by the way. GM that never really went back up, did it? No, it's at 53, 56. It just completely fell off after taking those 54s off. But mark it off. This is going to be an important level for tomorrow. If we can't get it done today, it doesn't mean the trade's over. Just get it done tomorrow or whatever the case is. But it's going to be something to keep an eye on, because GM definitely setting up for another time, another day perhaps. For now, though, manage what you've got. If you got something that's deep in the money, take it. I'll keep looking at the chat, see if there's anything else. Everyone wants to talk about AMC. So people may not like me for saying this, but I actually wanted to short AMC earlier today. I was hoping there would be a run right off the open to take the short on AMC. The reason I say this is because somebody was asking me the other day, what was it? What stock was it? It was in a downtrend. And I'm like,
Tesla. It was an
no,
uptrend.
no, it wasn't Tesla. It was something else. There was another stock that was like trending down hard, and they're like, "Is today the day that it goes up?" Was it Hood then? Well, it may have been Hood. Is Hood
Could
at?
be.
Yeah, it was Hood. And I was like, oh, do you take the long now? And my concern with Hood was the resistance level is 20. So until we clear 20, I think the upside move is going to run into pockets of resistance, right? So I look over at AMC and it's doing the exact same thing. There's pockets of resistance. As you can see, I marked off that 21 area. If we clear 21, then I'll be like, you know what? We can potentially go for longs now. So what I wanted to do off the open was fade it. And I had orders at 1850 and we stalled out at 1825, fell off. As soon as we fell off, I just canceled the order, but then we went right back up and fell off again, right? So it was just one of those quick trades. It's value purchasing versus intraday trading. If you see value in it, then the long on AMC would be somewhere close to 16, 15.50, 16, because that's where, look at where we're stalling here. From February of 2021 or January of 2021 until we took off, the stalling area is around 15 to 15.5. So if you're looking for value purchases, that's the price you want. But if you're trying to intraday trade this and we're trading near the top end of a downward trend, you want to fade it back into that zone. So that's what I was trying to do. If we get into 15, you might be able to pick up some value purchases. But for now, though, AMC is not doing a whole lot that I can work with for me intraday, but it is up 8.3%. And you know what? It's got space to the upside. It's got space all the way to 21 before we give up on the short idea. So it's possible that we kind of keep creeping up towards that. And once you cross that, it takes off. But for now, we're going to walk away and just work on the futures for now.
Day Trader Mom was asking me what's with your Activision trade. It's doing absolutely nothing. Why are you trading Activision today? I would beg to differ. It's a very profitable ticker for me all of last month. Actually, my number one ticker of last month was Activision. I've been shorting it every single day ever since that news came out. Smoking it, absolutely destroying the stock. And even today, I don't have a single losing trade on this. And now I'm going to try to replicate what I did off the open. The stock held a support line that I drew for quite a bit. And then when that trend line broke, I was getting ready to start buying dips near VWAP and all the way back to all the way where my orders are. So even if I do lose on this stock, I'm not giving back my whole day on it. And if I do get stopped out, I do get stopped out. Overall, just trying to rinse and repeat the same idea that has been paying me, leaning on the same levels that are paying me. And the idea is, if Sony wants to go buy Bungie, that's good news for all gaming companies in general. Even if this deal has a lot of problems ahead of it to actually go through and actually work in the long run because of FTC, Federal Trade Commissions coming in and might be trying to block the trade over here. The idea is still going to switch to a long for a day or two because more and more gaming companies want to get bought out or are getting bought out even if they don't want to right now. So on that note, that's why I'm leaning on Activision long over here. Since we are talking about gaming, let's go look at EA Sports. Their earnings are coming out today after... let me quickly verify that real quick. Earnings whisper...
For what?
EA Sports.
Oh.
EA Sports before market open,
Just search
after
for it.
market.
Search for it.
Oh, you're right. EA Electronic Arts.
Today.
4 p.m. today. So exactly at 4 p.m. the earnings are supposed to be coming out. What are people expecting? Short-term price up, down, down, down. Analyst estimates up, sentiment up. So sentiment should be technically up based off of the whole Bungie buying and everything else too. But obviously if earnings doesn't come out good, I know you play FIFA quite a bit, right?
Well, I'm going to expect that EA is up because of the way they decided to make FIFA not crossplay. No crossplay on the PS5 version. So here I am. I personally contributed to earnings on EA because I bought the PS4 version and the PS5 version because they won't allow you to play. If you have a PS5, they won't allow you to play against players with PS4. So I think because of moves like that, I think their earnings will be better. But I mean, whatever.
Fair. That's actually a good point because now people will have to buy it twice, or even like they can't play with their friends and so on. So yeah, let's see what the earnings over here for EA Sports comes out with, and if it actually helps them out. And since we're talking about sports, I also want to go look at Roblox. Roblox, what is Roblox doing today? That's still EA Sports. Roblox actually up on the day, 2% right now. Beautiful move back to almost $70. High day actually being $69.25. And we were as low as, I believe, 50 something? No, we're not. We were as low as 54. 54 was the low on the 28th of January. And now we're back to almost $69.25 being the high. Roblox struggled over there with their earnings report. The subscriber count grew, but then very pretty close to after the earnings report came out and people were talking about how the subscriber count grew and the money came in, the subscriber count immediately almost vanished. So that was like a what the heck happened type of moment for Roblox, and we just nosedive from those $100 levels all the way to $60 levels here. I think Roblox has a bigger potential of a buyout candidate than EA because of the whole metaverse aspect that Roblox is already handling. They already have programmers who are willing to work for them, and these are like open source programmers, whereas EA, it's very corporate based, and they're gonna have to go through tiers and layers of corporate structure to make any single reform in the gaming industry or the games that they make. And I personally am a big anti-EA guy because they are the reason why gaming introduced freemium. Like the whole freemium idea and pay-to-win services came into EA because of Battlefield games. People were paying for better guns and better weapons and so on, and I just that ruined it for me. So EA has grown a special spot in my heart for hatred, and it belongs there because they ruined free gamers like me. For someone who didn't have too much money at childhood, free games were the way to go, and they ruined all of that for me.
Well,
they ruined it, dude. and
all right.
FIFA is just a roster update every year with a little bit of a better graphic.
I mean, you're playing, yeah, but I mean, like, if you like the sport, like, I like playing sports that I can't actually play in real life, because in real life I suck at soccer. So for me, FIFA is the game that I go towards. And I don't play online. The only reason I even have it is because I play against one of my close buddies, right? So anytime we have time on our hands, which is like maybe once or twice a week at the end of the week, we'll play against each other, right? So that's the only reason I even have FIFA. Not because I'm like a huge gamer on FIFA. I just want to play with my buddy. Yeah. That's it. Straight up and simple. Only for that. The games I do have for myself, though, I just told you yesterday I have Hitman. I just got Hitman. I finished Far Cry, by the way, Far Cry 6. That was a nice game, actually. That's a Ubisoft game, right? Yep. And then I just got Hitman, so that's probably something I'll play on my own, again, when I have time, which isn't that often. But if I randomly have time, I'll pop that in and play that game. As I say this, though, I'm looking at the likes. We're sitting at 1.9. Guys, we're running out of time. It's 40 minutes left. Can we get to 3K? I don't know. We only have 2,800 viewers. So maybe today might not happen, but still, I like to see it north of 2K. And then I'll figure out something, see if we can get some more viewers right off the open as the show gets moved over, and we can get you over to being blonde, Prad. It'll be nice to see Prad go blonde. So that's one of those things that I actually want to see before, at least I want to accomplish before I leave in 2 weeks or so. So
you see my legs moving, you see my nervousness kicking in. Like I can't stop now. My legs are walking.
Brad, think about it this way: if you could look down the barrel of this potentially happening, imagine how much better of a trader it's going to be for you. How much of a trader you're going to be, because now you can handle the pressure.
That's true. That's true.
Because think about it. For the next 8 days, you're going to be under the same pressure of me trying to get you to go blonde.
Dude, my cheeks are hurting laughing too much, man.
So it's just one of those things, Brad. If we're going to toughen you up in the next eight days, and so you can actually hold on to some of these trades and actually make some more money. But we're going to do it a different way. We're going to get you under the pressure of going blonde.
By any means necessary. That's the word. That's the slogan that we stick by. By any means necessary. I know Malcolm X said this, but I know it from a clothing line, so please don't get mad at me, whoever. I know, there comes the turnaround. Don't get mad at me. I know it from the clothing line, because I know it's gonna happen. Malcolm X says it in his speech, but I know it because it's on the Supreme clothing line, and it says by any means necessary. Here comes all the Supreme fanatics.
Why does Supreme come up 2 times in 2 days?
Why?
Rob, I don't know. Rob was asking about Supreme, not production Rob, but IT Rob was asking about Supreme yesterday.
Like the clothing line Supreme?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
And he's like, can you trade it? I was like, well, I messaged back and I was like, it's owned by VF, which also owns North Face and Vans.
That's right.
So I'm just curious why. Is Supreme in the news or something?
Oh, they're
lately?
a big company.
No,
man.
is it in the news
Is
lately?
it in the news though? No clue.
Okay.
Could be. If Rob's talking about it, maybe we gotta ask Rob. Rob, you here? Nope.
No, he's
Never
not here.
mind. No one wears Supreme anymore, do they? No, I still wear Supreme, bro. I still have my Supreme stuff. I just try to keep it in nice condition. My clothes get really messy because I'm a messy eater. I just drop food all over me, so I try to keep my good clothes inside the closet. Don't bring them out too much. Obviously, Supreme was a big sell. It was like $2 billion or multi-billion-dollar franchise sell right there on Supreme to what was it again? VF
Corp, yeah.
VF Corp.
VFC on New York.
VFC on New York. Pfizer submits data to clear COVID shots for kids under 5.
are we getting
PFE. So
movement? Are we
let's
getting
check out
movement?
Pfizer. Sorry?
No, I was just saying, are we finally getting some movement in these markets?
Could bring in some move. Let's check on Pfizer. Pfizer's still flat on the day,
yeah.
but looks like we're waiting for this move to happening on the vaccine stocks. We're still above 50 on Pfizer, which is pretty surprising if you ask me, because Moderna and the rest of them have been beaten down quite a bit, all the way back to 160s, 170s on Moderna, up 1.9% today, and on BNTX. Let's go check out what BNTX is doing. 1 million shares and actually have 4% today. Being 180 is the kind of a barrier that I see. Every time we go near 180, we just get smacked to the downside.
VFRI apparently is moving. That's what the chat is saying. Up 30%. Okay, hello. We got some activity. Let me move this over. Let me see what it's doing on the 5-minute chart here. Are we clearing some zones? Do I want to fade this? Probably got to pay for these shorts, don't I?
7 million float.
7 mil. Oh, okay. Let's not short this.
7 million float, 30% short float.
Yeah, we're definitely not shorting this. Not a good idea. Sometimes you like to fade against these pops, but as we're running into resistance. But if those are the numbers, then yeah, definitely don't want to touch this. So here we are waiting for futures. Someone's like, well, we're going to get back to trading talking stocks when we get to 3K likes. It's not even that. If something was moving, we'd be on it. Futures are S&P up 0.04%. NASDAQ down 0.05%. So during lunchtime hours, when the market's this flat, it's kind of hard to figure out what else to go about. So that's why I'm constantly on likes, guys. Hit the likes for Prad going blonde. Prad, we're north of 2K, by the way.
I know. Every time I look over there, the speed of my leg just gets faster and faster.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where, hey, we're kind of trying to spend some time talk about other things until we find a stock that's moving. Somebody was asking me earlier about triple Qs or the ultra shares on the Qs. They were long. If you are long, man, you got some space. Like I mentioned earlier, we got some space to the upside on the triple or the TQQs. You have space at least until 67, 67.50. So cashing out some now off a nice little bounce here, right off of this. You see where this bounced off of, right? So going back to February and April of 2021 was around that 55, 56 area. We kind of squeezed right below, and then we kind of traded a little bit and then found the buying to get back above. I think at this point you found a nice little base there. So if you are priced well, then you can expect at least 67.50, 67 even before we hit some resistance. So I would hold on to this, cash them out, hold on to the rest of it. Again, that's my personal opinion based on what I'm seeing on the chart, right? It also depends on how you can tolerate risk as well. So for now, at least, the way the chart's moving around, it does look like there's space to the upside. So I definitely want to keep an eye on that. As we say that, though, intraday-wise, futures still going sideways. We're creeping. And we're like kind of locked in this little box here. 95 on the bottom, and it looks like 15 on the top. We just need to make a move either end. I can either go for the failed breakout up top for the short. I can go for the downside move for a short, but my stop is 45.50, so I can't really take it at 94, right? So I got to wait for better prices. So I think my only real option for a futures trade yet so far today, you see the one trade I took earlier around these 10s, I got out of, made it like a penny and change. So we're waiting for another move like that. We just want a better price. So for now, we're just going to ride out the other positions I've got. And somebody was asking, can you see my live positions right here? NVIDIA, Palantir, Roku, and Snapchat, all in the money, 365, 19, 204, and 29.
You can right-click on your blotter and hide all the positions you're not in, eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where? Well, show it to me after.
I'll show it to you after. People are talking about BBIG in the chat, so let's take a look at BBIG. Obviously, Vinco Ventures. Right away when I pulled up Vinco Ventures, I threw up this line over here that extends from the 21st of December 20th December of last year, and pretty much where we're at right now, $3.60. And we're looking to see where this one can reject off of. Also right here, look at that, the $3.60 where we're at exactly. So we could look for some rejection, some barrier on this. And I'm actually seeing some size also on $3.60. Let's scroll down to see if that size extends itself all the way down to there's some size on offer, yeah, but the 360 is the resistance that we need to break through. If we can break through this resistance with volume right now, with obviously markets getting ready to go back upstairs again, and with all of these variables combined together, there's a possible breakout of 360 all the way to $4, and then a rejection of $4, which is the high of, what day is this? 26th January of this year. So let's look for a test of 380 after 360, and then $4 for BBIG. Obviously, the news on BBIG, let me see if anything has changed on that. Where's BAMSEC? I don't have BAMSEC open. BAMSEC, BBIG, Vinco Ventures, yeah. And then 26th of December, what is this? Pre-commitment. Pretty much all they're trying to do over here is filing your SA files and all your other rulings and stuff to have the successful but the transfer from BBIG over to TYDE, which is what they will be trading as. And for every 10 shares of BBIG you're owning, you're going to get 1 share of TYDE. And for those of you who don't know what TYDE is, it's Cryptide. It's an NFT launching business. This is the business or company that Tory Lanez dropped his album on, and he sold 1 million copies for $1 each in less than 1 minute. So that was after he became independent artist from his record label and so on. That was a big thing for musicians. So now, if an artist like Tory Lanez can do that, what's going to stop Kanye West, who wants to be even more independent and keep 100% of his money? What's going to stop Jay-Z, Eminem, and all these, even these, for lack of a better word, but even the broke rappers at the bottom of the ladder, what's going to stop them from doing that? Because not only are they going to keep 100% of the profits, they're also going to make 10% of that album when it gets resold, and we still haven't heard a single song from that album when Tory Lanez sold it. People are holding on to those albums. They're not letting other people listen to it. It kind of has the whole feeling of Martin Shkreli, or however you say his name, buying the Wu-Tang album for $2 million, $3 million, or whatever crazy amount of he bought for. Or was it the Lil Wayne album? But anyways, the whole idea is the NFT business for music and the future over there has a lot of potential. So I think BBIG could have some moves to the upside, but there's a heavy short float on this stock, which is what the problem is. BBIG, it should be above 30%. Okay, 23% short float, and the float itself is 121 million shares. So be careful, obviously, and I think from the last time I did my analysis on BBIG, this is where, let's look for it. Where is it? This is where the ratio changes above $9. So more sellers to buyers, more sellers to buyers, more sellers to buyers, and this is where your stops should be basically for those stops to get triggered. $9, $10, $11, an all-time high of $12.49.
You said what's going to stop Jay-Z? or doing that, nothing's going to stop Jay-Z, man.
Yeah.
He's not a businessman. He's a businessman.
He is the business. Yes, sir.
So going back to, before I continue on with stocks, guys, likes, that'd be nice. We've got about half an hour left, less than half an hour left. We're about a K short of where we'd like to be. We're 2/3 of the way there. We'll work on this throughout the week and see if we can, throughout the next 2 weeks or so, and see if we can get it to 3K. But if you can, hit the likes, because I'd like to see this guy go blonde. Going back to stocks, somebody was asking Google, what do you think? Earnings today? Well, I mean, I don't really, you can't make assumptions of what Google's reports are going to be like, but you can kind of set the edges of what the stock would do and where you could potentially make the reactionary moves. Obviously, 30.40 is the high right here. That's one thing to keep an eye on. Where could it potentially bounce off of if it were to fall down? I would argue not 34.95, which was the low, but right here, which is about 2400 right here. The reason being, last time we were here back in June of 2021, nice little multi-day, actually it was in April and then also in June. So I think if we're going to take the lows out, probably stops get squeezed and we get a move back to the downside. But right now, inside of this band, you've got to set the edges wide and see the reaction after the report comes out, right? So you notice that sometimes when reports come out, they're like, oh, everything's great. Why did this stock fall apart? Well, sometimes you can make that justification as to why it would hit resistance and fall off. So that's what I'm doing, setting the edges. If we hit outside of these bands, then you kind of like, oh, you know what? It broke through the top or broke through the bottom or it's hitting support. Then you can make plays based on that. If you're trying to predict the imbalances, or not the imbalances, the earnings report themselves, is going to be very hard to do. You can make assumptions, of course, but I think it's better off just waiting for the information to come out and then reacting or making trades based on the information and where it's at. So if you know it's hitting, it's great, it's hitting up top, it's going straight up to like 29.50 or so, and then it's hitting resistance, or you can see some selling coming in, then you could say, you know what, there's some resistance here, maybe a quick trade to the downside back into the range here would be the better trade. So I just like to prefer to kind of set edges and then work with whatever the market decides to do after the fact instead of trying to predict ahead of time. Of course, if you're playing options, that's not helpful at all. But I mean, I'm a trader. We don't trade options here. Everything we do is stocks, and in my case, futures as well. So I'd rather just do what I'm good at instead of kind of trying to figure out, at least from the technical side of things, the financials and whatnot. I think if you are more of a by the book, going into digging deep into financials, you probably get a better understanding of how to look at this picture. But for me, as a technical trader, I think the edges are the better way of approaching this.
Yeah, I always say no point in predicting those earnings report, because even if the earnings comes out in line with the analysts, you never know what they're gonna guide or what they're gonna say in the sentences at the footnotes, and those also move the markets pretty drastically. I rather wait for the earnings report to come out, disseminate the information myself. If I'm late, I'm late, but at least I get to trade based off of those variables instead of instead of predicting, trying to be early and then getting burnt for doing both of those things, which is not a part of most setups that are profitable anyways. Predicting is not setup. Predicting is just gambling in a way, right? So you don't want to be doing that. Thank you, Arun, for saying that for the viewers. I always try to stop people from taking earnings gambling YOLO plays. I know a lot of my friends love doing those YOLO option gambles on earnings, and then they ask themselves the questions that I ask myself after I'm done sports betting, because the way I sports bet is gamble. I take those sports bet and I make these betting odds that are so crazy, where if I bet $1, I'm about to cash out 20K, but the chance of me cashing out that 20K is so slim to none. But I just love taking those odds, and that's gambling. Don't gamble.
Don't gamble at all. So there was a question. I guess someone's been posting this. Like, how do you read the level 2? For anyone who's unaware of what the level 2 is, it's this here. It's the market depth that you're looking at. This is the stock window. So you'll see at the top, and I'll just do a quick, brief description of what you're looking at. So on the left-hand side, you have all the buyers that are willing to pay a certain price. You have on the right-hand side, you have all the sellers who are willing to pay a certain price, right? And all these like different names that you're seeing here, ARB, ARCX, those are the different locations where you can find shares or gateways where you can find shares. So you have buyers on one side, you have sellers on the other, and anyone who's willing to cross to the other side gets the shares immediately. Anyone who's waiting to get filled, well, at some point someone's going to come and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll sell you the shares at 422. So some people are passively waiting for that, and some people are actually getting aggressive and trying to take the shares now, and that's what you're seeing in movement. And this is what you're looking at when it comes to level 2. It's depth, it's volume based on the different gateways that we have, and then you'll see there's always going to be a gap between the buyer and the seller. In this case, in BFRI, it's 2 pennies at the moment. It's a fairly thick stock. It's got some volume to it, so you're not going to see a whole lot of movement. Another big name, Sirius XM. You see this one, there's a ton of volume on each side because this thing barely moves, right? This thing barely moves, and it's done some volume today. It's done some abnormal movement today because of earnings and whatnot. But this is how typically you can kind of understand how things kind of happen, right? You have all the different gateways sitting on one side, all the other side, everyone sitting on the other side. They're just trying to make a deal. At some point, someone's going to make a deal and cross to the other side. Like the seller's going to give it to the buyer at the price they want, or the buyer's going to give it to the seller at the price that they want. And that's it. That's how you look at level 2. You can use the different gateways for volume, being like some gateways, like here, if you go back to, at the bottom of 661 on the offer, you'll see Amex only has 700 shares. So someone's only offering 700 shares on Amex, but someone's offering 40,000 shares on NASDAQ. It's because the reason people do that is because more gateways some gateways fill faster than others, meaning there's more demand in certain gateways because of the fee structure, the cost structure, whatever, right? Amex probably has 700 because no one really trades on Amex. So you could be very close to the front of the line on Amex, but you may not get the fill because not everyone's putting their volume through Amex. So people are trying to play this game where they want to get the shares first. And in this case, I guess everybody thinks that NASDAQ is where they're going to get their shares first. So that's why everyone's waiting on NASDAQ. And that's kind of a brief description of what you're looking at when it comes to the level 2. And hopefully that helps out, because I know when we're talking about charts and all that stuff, it's easy to kind of talk over a chart. But then when it comes to level 2, you see all this stuff and a new trader may not know what you're looking at. So hopefully that does help.
Thank you, Arun. Yeah, level 2 also should be incorporated with the time of sales, and overall, like if you're just reading level 2 all day, you're just gonna fall under traps of your own mind, because the brain is such a wonderful thing that if you're just sitting there staring at these charts, sorry?
Ford is moving.
Ford is moving. Let's go check out Ford. Ford on New York. Ford back above 20. Let's go. Previously we were 19. Oh, big volume candle on Ford, actually. Nice volume candle on Ford. Taking it back to the high of day over here. Actually looks like, no, we're not at the high of day, but pretty close to it. About to go test 21, looks like, with the amount of volume we're seeing. Whoa, the tape is hot. The velocity of this tape is heating up. And obviously, with that big volume candle, bigger than the opening candle itself. Let's see how we behave near $21. That level at 21 was so important for Ford. After we broke out, we went all the way up to, the level at 21 was so important. After we broke out of it, we jumped to 23, 24, 25, where the downgrades for the stock started coming in, and we immediately went back to $19. So now that we're ramping up to this level at 21, I'd like to see for resistance to be put in, maybe some a wall coming in place, not allowing the stock to go too far above for the first 3-4 times, giving us a scalp out of it maybe, and then a breakout. Obviously, these are just trade setups that I'm coming up with on the fly to play off the 21, but with that amount of volume, with that amount of velocity that we're seeing towards the north side, it is very possible we break out at 21, go to maybe 21.20, 21.30 before we see this rejection coming in. That second candle is bigger than the first candle now.
The crazy thing with Ford, though, if you look at where it was in the last few days, this is a daily chart. Look at where we're bouncing off of, that 1918 area. A ton of volume spent between November and January before we took off. So obviously when we come back down, we're going to hit some buying. And I think anyone who is catching the 19s, that's a low risk entry, because you get in at 19. If it breaks 1850, you get out. And now it's at 20. And once you cross 21, there's nothing stopping Ford. It's clean north of 21, even if it doesn't do it today. If it does it in the next day or so, or even at the end of the week, it's a clean chart north of 21, right back towards 24. So I think Ford, one hell of a steal down there at 19 and change for the last few days there. And now you're starting to see this move. Obviously, you're seeing some acceleration. Everybody wants a piece of this now. The news that I'm seeing from you guys, and obviously I can't confirm this myself. Yeah, I can't confirm this on my own. Unless Brendan's got something for us, is that you're saying that Ford plans its reorganization to speed shift to electric vehicles. Okay, that's definitely something that would move a stock like this. So here we are waiting on Ford. If we take 21, I think there could be a trade there as well. While these other names that I have here, they're not doing a whole lot, right? So we got to go to the names that are moving. Futures back towards the 10s. Not ready yet. Maybe a short at some point. Not yet though. But I think Ford is going to be at the top of the list in terms of potential trades.
Speaking about Ford, I want to go look at, obviously the EV sector has been hot for a while, and then with Ford ramping up the EV side even more, we should start seeing a little bit more excitement on the EV sector. So looking at Rivian right now, Rivian actually coming below VWAP, coming to the downside. If you guys remember, Ford actually owns shares of Rivian until the IPO lockup period, at which point they might either dump it or they might not. Who knows? That speculations does not matter to us. We can worry about it when Rivian IPO lockup comes out. But the IPO play, not the IPO play, but the EV play, I was expecting a bump up on Rivian too, because Ford has a nice little bump up. Let's go look at Tesla. Maybe does Tesla have a spike up in candle or spike down in candle? You know, if Ford is trying to rival Tesla, and if Ford is actually going as far as, like, you know, pushing the company out from marketing perspective, because Tesla doesn't do too much marketing. Most of its marketing is word of mouth and just Elon standing in the front of the helm being Elon. That's the marketing that Tesla needs. They don't need outside marketing. So, but Ford ramping up marketing, ramping up car production, ramping up everything. We're gonna expect. Oh, GM. Thank you for mentioning GM. GM should have spiked up there. I don't know if you have anything on GM. Nothing.
54 is still the level. It still hasn't got to it.
There you go. 54 still the level. Still hasn't breaking past it. Sorry. GM is going to be reporting today also. So that's another catalyst to be watching out for GM today. So Tesla's not moving. Now let's go look at NIO real quick. See if there's any chance these Chinese EV stocks that actually have a catalyst today are going to piggyback on the Ford's catalyst. Looks like NIO isn't. XPEV, and then we'll look at Li Auto. Let's look at XPEV. Gave back quite a bit of its gain.
Before you continue on that, I gotta step in here.
Yeah.
Come on. Guys, we just got the 2.1.
Oh my goodness.
If we can just get another 900, because someone put in the chat, if we can just get another 900 in the next 15 minutes, we can end this. We as the user there said, where is it? As YD just said, we can save Prad some stress for the rest of the week and just end it today. That way he has something to look forward to when Valeriia gets back. That would be the easier way of doing this. So if we can just get to the 3K today, that would be very helpful for Prad's health, let alone anything else. You were saying?
No, but yeah, I was just talking about Li Auto, so XPEV over here. XPEV did not get a bump on Ford either, and let's just wrap it up for the EV sector with Li Auto. Let's see if Li Auto has done anything. It's a wrap for me. You guys are gonna run up that 3K. Arun, man, why did you guys even tell Arun about that blonde hair stuff? You guys,
you did. You were bragging.
You read it from the chat,
and you were bragging about how it's not gonna happen.
Oh, that's right. Bro, I've been saying it's not gonna happen for like 2 months now, and you just come and ruin it on day 2. Come on, Arun, you got too much power. Arun's got the power in his hands. It's the guns, bro. It's the gun show. You guys got to pay for the tickets for the gun show, though. You guys know that. Get on YouTube, share the link to YouTube. Yeah, at this point, I've lost this battle. I give up. I've lost this battle. He's laughing over here, sitting next to me. I'm done. I can't do anything.
Here's the thing: you may get away today. We may not get to the 3K. I hope we get to 3K, but you may get away.
I'm getting away today, but not for.
I've got another 8 days to work on this, and I will find a way. We're getting closer.
I may win the battle, but the war's not done yet.
Oh, it's a long way from being over.
Yeah, the war is not done yet. Oh, my cheeks are hurting just smiling all day now. Oh, Let's look at the market real quick. QQQ getting back to the top of the range, bouncing from VWAP. How many times are we just going to keep doing this range? Obviously, for anyone who loves range trading, this is your perfect day. This is the type of day you want to be trading. You kind of want to have a bias also. Maybe not. Maybe you just want to take full lot entry, full lot outs between the range, in and out, and you don't want to hold any for the bigger move. What I would technically do is have an idea of where the market would go or not. That's predicting, but I would technically want to build towards a direction, maybe the long or the short, and just an idea. Maybe get in 100 shares, get out 50. Get in 100 shares, get out 50. That way you still have 50 shares for the overall trade at the end of the day.
You gotta switch the screen.
Oh, that's the wrong screen. Overall, you still have 50 shares for at the end of the day in case the stock goes into your direction. And if it doesn't go in your direction, you get stopped out. And you've been scalping this range all day. For how long now? From 11 o'clock till almost 2 o'clock. You've been just scalping the almost $2-3 ranges over here all day, giving you that free money the market's giving you. And that's why I always say, even though I'm the one who use the terminology such as the market's boring, market's putting me to sleep, there's tons of opportunities out there every single day. There's money to be made every day, and there's money to be lost every day. So just saying that, market's boring, I don't see my opportunity, I don't see this, I don't see that, it's such a horrible way to look at the market, and usually will just hinder you in your own growth progress. So even on a low volume or sideways market like today, there's still trades to be made.
There's trades to be made, and there's likes to be
smashed.
Clicked as well. So I just want to say one thing for anyone who's just watching. So so I can make it so much easier for everyone. If you're just watching, all you got to do is just log into your Gmail account, sign into YouTube, and just watch. Come back on the video, just hit the like, and then log back out. It really doesn't matter. Just hit that like. Find a way to get that like, and I think we're getting closer. We're at 2.2 now. We're making a run towards the end. We got about 12 minutes left. And if you just want to log out or log into your Gmail account and sign into YouTube and hit that like, that'd be a lot better.
I'm gonna have to fake a COVID test for the next 8 days or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, listen, you may get away with it from me, but if it gets done today, you cannot run from these viewers. You cannot deny them what you promised them ahead of time, Prad. You promised them well ahead of time.
But you know what, though? I said that the deal ends on the last day of January. If they don't do it on the last day of January, the deal is
What kind of
done.
nonsense is this?
I gave them a month.
You gave them a month
and then I extended it.
To when?
Till whenever.
Okay, so it's an open invitation for Prad, but I just like to see it done while I'm still here, so I can, sit back and enjoy the fruits of my labor, I guess.
This guy's working hard today, double time, overtime.
Put in some work, man. We'll work on this, but yeah, we're definitely gonna get Prad to 3K. What are the markets doing? Up, futures back towards 10. Yeah, guys, anyone who's bored by this movement, just don't trade it. It's a waste of money to try to trade inside this range. So just be smart about when you're spending your money to, putting it on the line to take a shot. The last 2 days, so Friday and then yesterday, stellar movement, right? We got directional movement. Those are the days you make money. And then some days you sit out and just wait for the market to kind of give you something else. And it looks like today it's not going to be the best of days. We might get a nice little move towards the end of the day, but for now at least, be smart about how you're taking your trades. Someone was asking, how do you know when to stop trading when you've had a bad day? You'll know if you're not thinking about your strategy, or you're not thinking about execution, and you're worried about, oh my God, I'm down this much, or oh my God, that was a stupid trade, that was this or that was that. It's probably time to take a break because you're not mentally there just yet. You need to take a break because you're overwhelmed with emotion, whatever the case is. Anytime you can recognize that you're too emotional about the trade, whether it's because even if you have a great winner, imagine if you're such a good trader that you're deep in the money, but then all of a sudden it's you're so excited, you're getting jittery because of how excited you are. Step away. It can work both ways. You can you can have a bad day and you need to step away. You can have a great day and you need to step away. It just means that you're emotionally disconnected a little bit, or that you're too, not emotionally disconnected. You're too emotionally involved where you need to emotionally disconnect That's why when I trade, it seems like I'm a robot at times. I've been called that so many times too. It's because I'm not connected. I'm not emotionally getting involved in any of my trades. It's just numbers to me, and I just need to execute my strategy, right? So it's just one of those things where if you're having a great day or if you're having a bad day, but if you're too antsy and nervous and just all over the place with it, just step back a little bit, because you need to be on your game and you need to be sharp of what things you need to do next, what your next step of action is. So that's just one of those things. It's not necessarily about a bad day. It's about just overall, if you're too emotionally involved, just take a step back.
Yeah, kind of like know when to trade, know when not to trade, but like also like if you didn't get enough sleep, all those factors factor into your trading too, right? I would say so.
What's that?
Like if you didn't get enough sleep the night before, or if
If
you're
I didn't
dealing
get
with like
enough
mental
sleep,
things at
so
home.
I'll give you an example. If I didn't get enough sleep, if I didn't get enough likes, I'm going to be thinking about what can I do better. Sometimes I got to step back a little bit, re-strategize, be like, damn, I got to get to 3K likes. How can I do that? And then if I'm like, oh my God, we're going to get there, we're going to get there. If we're at 2.9, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to get there, then I may have to, maybe take a step back, be like, what's going to happen? I'll find a way to do it.
Eventually, yeah.
So you just got to step back, not get too emotionally involved. So you'll know because you're not thinking about what you need to be doing. You're thinking about what has happened.
And if it didn't, you're thinking about how to make it happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I will find another way to make this happen.
Beautiful. Like
if we can do 100 likes per minute, we can get this done, guys. It's doable.
Per minute.
It's doable.
We're just ramping up the speed, the velocity of the like button smashes.
Hey, towards the end is when people have gotten most of their value, so now's the time.
No. It's gotta be live, bro. It's gotta be live. Yo, stop. These guys are just scheming over here, man. These guys are scheming over here to get me blocked. No. It's gotta be live shows. No schemes.
You just guys.
Nah. I'm the one who makes the stipulation.
You
what
guys,
do you mean?
You guys just need to move some people when the show ends for you guys, just to remind them that go hit the likes. So see. There you go. See, I'm getting more people involved. We've got a strategy for this. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's at 2.3K right now. If it doesn't happen today in the next 5 minutes or so, it will happen tomorrow because we'll make it happen. Prad's going blonde, guys.
Yeah.
Whether you want to see it or not, it's happening.
It's happening at this point.
And he can't dye it out either. Oh, people want to see Eminem trading. They've been saying that in the chat, Prad. There you go.
It'll happen at this point.
Eminem got a tan and decided to sit down in front of a trading desk, but he could be there.
I gotta start rapping over here. Start rapping about all my tickers that I'm trading. Super rap god, the trade god, I guess. But no, that title belongs to you and all the other traders on the floor today. Arun correlation is unstoppable. Yeah, he's over here teaming up with the Sean.
But that's like trading though. When you try to do it on your own, and you're like, damn, I need some help. Know when to ask for some help. I'm doing my best, and I think there's only a limitation. We're at 2.4K right now. There's only a limitation of what I can do on my own. But if I can get some help and make it happen, I mean, don't do that as traders though, because that's illegal. That's team. Don't do that as traders. I'm talking about strategizing for the sake of learning. But in this case, it's to get some likes. But yeah, we're gonna get there. We're at 2.4. I think we can get close. We can definitely get close enough today that Prad's gonna be sweating on his ride home. He's gonna have to find an excuse to tell his mom on why his hair is about to change color. So let Prad figure this out for the next.
Yeah, I got a long bus ride anyways. A long 2 hours to figure this out back home today. Real quick, let's quickly take a look at a couple more stocks here before we have to throw you guys off to the closing show. Shopify is something that just came to my head. I don't know why Shopify came to my head, but it did. 1 million shares traded today. Currently still down on the day, flat, but that catalyst that allowed Shopify to get close to $1,000. I forget what day it is. It's not going to show me it, but it's one of these 2 days over here where Shopify had that positive catalyst while the market was ripping up too. And now we're kind of just stuck in the same ranges. Is this the day? Is this the day? No, it was a little bit further. Oh, there we go. More charts are loading up. That wasn't the day either. This was the day. Here we go, where the market turned, and then we were around here, and then the catalyst came in, and then just ripped all the way even further into 950 or so, where we're currently at right now on the day for Shopify. Looks like this day's high will be have to coming into play. 964. What is this day's high? 937, 940. Let's scroll. We actually opened pretty close to 995, almost getting close to 1,000, but the negative move in the market today off the open, bringing Shopify back to 950, where it's finding support, and the sideways action continuing to give it support sideways. I'm expecting a move back to $1,000 tomorrow, as long as we have a green day, obviously. If tomorrow we see a red day in the market, then that's going to be bad for a lot of stocks across the board. I think even AMD and Apple and all those stocks might see some down move if NASDAQ decides to flush tomorrow,
I mean, the market is coming off a little bit. Before I continue on, as we have a few minutes left, guys, we're at 2.4. We can get another 600 in the next couple minutes. That would be great. If not, if you guys have already hit your likes, get used to me doing this, because I'm going to get to 3K. It's happening. So thank you for trying it at least today, and we'll get back on it tomorrow. Market coming off a little bit. So Roku, remember, we got some out around 167.50. Coming back down now. Trail stop is 163. So even though we're going to be down 30-something cents, 20 cents right now, even if it stops out, we lose $1 on the second half. We've already made about $3.20 on the first half. So we're going to be net positive on Roku. NVIDIA trail stop got hit, so we walked away from NVIDIA for about a $2 winner or so, just south of 142. Not 142, not NVIDIA. It was 42. What was it? 342? 242? 242. So once we broke 242, I'm out. As you can see here, I'm still holding on to PLTR and Snap. They're sideways. So at this point, I'm locked positive on Roku and NVIDIA. And then PLTR and Snap, I guess it depends on what happens as we close out the day. But guys, a couple more minutes left, and we're about less than a minute left. Just run the likes just for the last little bit, so I can get an understanding of what we can do without the help, and then we can grab some help from the morning.
Tomorrow, no matter
well,
what.
We'll see. But we're definitely going to hit the likes here. We're short by 600. I think we can get some help from
Real quick, I have a question for you. How do you determine your trailing stop for stocks?
So I just like to look at where the market hesitated last. So Roku, I'll use an example here. Roku, I went long, went all the way back to the opening range. Where did it hesitate before it went back to the opening range? It's like this area here, 164, 163 half. So I put the stop at 163, right? That's the only reason. That's the only reason the stop is there.
That's like a hard stop, or is that a trailing stop?
It's a trailing stop. A hard stop just means that I'm automatically getting out if the level breaks.
Yeah.
Soft stop is I want to see how it trades before I decide to get out.
So does that move up? The trail moves up while the stock's moving up for you, and then if it comes down a certain point, it automatically closes for you.
Yeah, that's the trailing stop. So,
but like, is that like based on a percentage or a
nope,
number?
It's based entirely on how the stock wants to move.
Okay, cool. Well, that's gonna be the end for us over here. Thank you for joining us once again. Obviously, Miss V's on her vacation. 3K likes incoming tomorrow. So is Blonde Prada. So come back, smash that like button, go have fun with the closing show, guys. Paka.
Hey guys, welcome to the close. 2 hours to go in the trading session. We'll take you right through to 4 o'clock. It's been a bit of a quiet day so far, and maybe that's a good thing, coming off of one of the worst start to the year in a long time for all three U.S. equity markets. We mentioned this morning multi-month lows as we come off of January into February. But here we go. S&P 500 right now, pretty flat. Same story for the Dow. NASDAQ back to just 0.2 to the downside. But it has been a back and forth kind of day, really no significant direction to speak of. That being said, lots of opportunities in individual